Lou Alcindor at the time took the NCAA by storm. He led the Bruins to 3 straight championships, averaging 26.4 points per game. They even banned dunking from 67 to 76 because of his dominance. When he finally left the Bruins campus after the 1969 season and 3 straight titles, success did not stop for Wooden and UCLA. They won their 4th, 5th, and 6th straight national titles, leading up to one of the greatest runs in sports history. The 72-73 season saw them win a national title and a 2nd straight undefeated 30-0 season, running their total to 75 straight wins and 7 national titles in a row. In 73, both streaks would come to an end. One more title for UCLA and Wooden in 74-75 as the coach went out on top one last time. In all, 10 championships in 12 years equals one of the greatest dynasties in sports. For SiriusXM Sports, I'm Ryan Pete.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
NBA on SiriusXM.
Full steam out of the backcourt, all the way to the rim for a thunderous slam.
Every game, all season long, through the NBA Finals.
Drives, he jump stops, he's off balance, he put it up and in. I don't know how.
Your home for hoops is SiriusXM Radio. Now, let's take you courtside for the game.
He's been huge for us, and we definitely 100% need him.
Team is finding him. He's playing really well in pick and rolls. He's getting better in reading when defense is going over and under and finding his pocket pass. Playing with more force, going downhill and trying to dunk some of those situations. That's a testament to his work. That's a testament that everything that he did over the course of the summer. And if he continues like this, we're going to have another all-star player.
The voices of R.J. Barrett and Darko Rajakovic as the Raptors get set to host the Minnesota Timberwolves, led by Jakob Poeltl, as Yak has been an absolute beast for the Raptors of late, arguably this season overall, but certainly over the last 7 to 10 days, he has been putting up some ridiculous numbers for Toronto, and they will certainly need all of that tonight up against the front line of the likes of Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, and of course, the magnificent Anthony Edwards. Welcome, everybody, to Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank. This is how we fan. Tangerine, official bank of the Toronto Raptors. Eric Smith and Paul Jones with you on a Thursday evening. And, Jonesy, this should be a good one.
Yeah, it will be. And I think to add to that, Eric, both teams have had a lot of time to practice. The Raptors have had 2 days. Minnesota has had 3 days. I spoke with Chris Finch, the Raptor coach we never got to know, really, right? Because he was in Tampa when he got the job in Minnesota halfway through the COVID year when they were the Tampa Raptors. But he said they worked a lot on defense, and it's going to take them some time, but they are eventually going to figure this thing out. I like the trade, not so much for Randall. You can't not like that. But I like the DiVincenzo piece that they got in, and especially the way they play.
Definitely helps space the floor, no doubt. And I'm sure we're going to see a little bit more of him tonight, as we found out from Alan Horton, the play-by-play voice of the Timberwolves. He told us about 10 minutes ago that Mike Conley is not playing tonight. He will not be playing for the Timberwolves. Nickeil Alexander-Walker will start in his place, but again, that will probably open up even more minutes for DiVincenzo coming in that sort of sixth-man, second-unit type role for the Timberwolves.
I mean, I was talking to Nickeil before the game, and he's looking forward to it. He's playing with a lot more confidence right now as well, Eric. We'll get more into that.
All right, let's step aside for the break. When we come back, we'll have the keys to victory, the starting lineups, and then the tip-off between the Wolves and Raptors on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
In Scarborough, there's this fire behind our eyes.
A passion in our bellies.
It's in the hearts of our neighbors.
The eyes of our nurses.
And the hands of our doctors.
It's what makes Scarborough, Scarborough.
In our hospitals, we do more than anyone thought possible. with less than anyone could imagine.
But it's time to imagine what we can do with more.
Join Scarborough Health Network, and together,
We can turn grit into greatness.
Donate at lovescarborough.ca.
The Nissan All-In Clear-Out event is on now, where you can lease or finance select remaining 2024 Sentra from 0.99% for 24 months. Plus, qualified Nissan owners may receive up to $500 in loyalty bonus. Go all in with a Nissan Sentra, featuring a beautifully redesigned front grille and sporty design. And the available around view monitor helps give you a 360 view of what's around you, and maybe what having superpowers feels like. Conditions apply. Quantities limited. See Nissan.ca for details.
Greenhouse gas pollution heats the planet
and threatens our nature.
Canada's carbon price is designed to reduce this pollution in order to protect our environment.
And the Canada Carbon Rebate gives money back to Canadians.
In Ontario, an individual gets $560 this year, with a bonus for those in rural areas.
Have it both ways with the Canada Carbon Rebate. Find out how it works and how much you could receive at canada.ca/carbon rebate.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Picture this, a snowy morning, and you're staring at where your driveway used to be. Your neighbor's Toyota RAV4 with all-wheel drive cruises by unfazed, making winter look easy. You're thinking, that should be me. Yes, it should. It's time to upgrade your winter. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2025 RAV4 Hybrid LE all-wheel drive from $108 weekly for 40 months at 6.69% with $2,600 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today.
At Easy Financial, we know that sometimes life can be hard to navigate, especially when it comes to your finances. So if you find yourself in a tight spot and you've been left hanging, Easy Financial is here to help. With the money you need when you need it most. Now for a limited time, get 0% interest on the last 6 months of your new loan, starting November 18th. Applying won't impact your credit score. Terms and conditions apply. Visit easyfinancial.com for details.
Jim, sweetie, it's me, Dawn, on the radio. Please don't get me earrings again this year. I have a jewelry box full of them. I love them, but all I really want is a gift certificate to Thermea Spa Village. And who knows? If you get a gift certificate for 2, I might even make you my +1. Okay, love ya. This holiday season, give your loved ones what they really want. Give the gift of Thermea. Visit thermea.com/Whitby to purchase a gift certificate. Take good care.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Getting set for the tip-off between the Timberwolves and Raptors. It's time for the injury report brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care. And the big note, Jonesy, let's talk positive for a second instead of mentioning the many injuries that still exist. The one that is falling by the wayside, Scotty Barnes returns to the lineup for the Raptors tonight. We'll tell you more about that in a second, but here, the starting lineups. First, the Timberwolves.
Forward number 30 is Julius Randle. From Washington, a 6'9" forward number 3, Jaden McDaniels. From France, a 7'1" center, number 27, Rudy Gobert. Out of Georgia, a 6'4" guard, number 5 is Anthony Edwards. And from Toronto, a 6'5" guard, number 9, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Fans, the head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves is Chris Finch.
There you have it. Starting 5 for the Timberwolves. We'll get the Raptors in a second. Again, back to that injury report brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Scotty Barnes returning tonight. He will not be wearing a mask. He will have goggles on. He is in the starting lineup, but he is playing under a minute restriction. Still good news to have him back in the lineup, though.
Sure is. And I think that's one of the keys to look at. You know, sometimes we look at numbers and how will the Raptors readjust to Scotty being back in the lineup, and how much of the load does he take when he's out there? I think that's a real key. And then the other part of that on the trickle down is what happens to RJ, what happens to all of the other guys that have done so well and had that opportunity with Scotty out. Where are their minutes going and how do they play? So he comes back and he impacts a lot of people.
Well, and some might think that it's somewhat interesting, Jonesy, what Darko Rajakovic has decided in terms of his starters without a traditional point guard on the floor, with Barnes kind of being the de facto point guard / point forward in his return. We'll make it official in a couple of moments with the starting five, but you just heard Jonesy's keys to victory brought to you by Honda. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. Again, it's the Timberwolves and Raptors tipping off in about 90 seconds time. But before we get to that, we go back to center court with Herbie Kuhn and Mark Strong for the starting five for the Toronto Raptors.
We the North, born and bred, bringing the saga to the six. It's time for number 9, R.J. Barrett. The kid from Kansas City, wearing number 30. This is Ochai Agbaji. Holding it down at center, wearing the big number 19, Mr. Double-Double. This is Jakob Poeltl. The kid from Kansas, rocking number 1. You know the name. Make some noise for Grady Dick. And he's back. At 6'8" from Florida State. Make some noise for your boy, Scotty Barnes. Head coach of the Toronto Raptors, it's Darko Rajakovic.
All right. Starting five for the Raptors in the books, and a pretty solid ovation for Scotty Barnes, and rightfully so, as he returns to the floor tonight. And for the first time this season, the Raptors wearing their 2024-25 City Connect jerseys featuring the Raptor mascot on the front in the Vince Carter 2000 dunk contest pose, wearing the 15 jersey. I think it's a great logo, great jersey.
I do too.
And that logo is emblazoned on the court at center court, a special court tonight with the kind of old school feel to it, Jonesy, with the new school vibe. I'm a big fan of these City Connect jerseys.
I am too. The dunk is so epic, it's still being done. It's progressed to the point where some kids are even doing it in games, but
yeah,
it's one that will live on, as Vince just made it so popular. Scotty Barnes wearing the goggles, not like those motorcycle goggles like Kareem and them used to wear. He looks like he could be going to like an economics class or something. He just those are some, as the kids would say, some serious frames.
It's got a bit of a throwback to like Bo Outlaw, but even not anywhere near as big as what Bo wore. Like those are some funky frames. You know, like one day I want to see Scotty or somebody come out and basically like essentially a pair of Ray-Bans or something. You know, risky business. Raptors in the City Connect, which is primarily black with the purple jagged pinstripes, and then that Raptor logo kind of angled on the front with the jersey number on the front as well in the upper right chest area. The number and the lettering in white on those predominantly black jerseys. Again, I think it's a real good look. Minnesota in their City Connect jersey as well. It's predominantly white with kind of some snow or frost across the chest. Minnesota controls the tip. They start with the ball, and we are underway on a Thursday evening. Thanks for joining us on the Sportsnet Radio Network. As Alexander Walker gives it to Gobert, back to Nikhil. Above the arc straight away, working against his Canadian counterpart, Barrett. And driving to the tin, missing on a scoop on the far side was McDaniels. The Raptors catch a break, come down the other end. Down Main Street is Grady Dick, who catches the pass from Scotty, lays it in, and Toronto takes the 2-0 lead.
Well, RJ running the near side really hard, too. The defense had a decision to make, and Grady got the benefit.
Minnesota answers back with a triple from Anthony Edwards, and I'm going to tell you a story about him in just a second. 3-2 Minnesota.
He is straight Hollywood. Must-see TV, this kid.
Barnes to Pirtle at the free throw line. The floater, the patented floater, is tipped, partially blocked by Gobert. And we're going the other way, Minnesota ball. Randall got a step on Pirtle, got into the lane, kicks it back out to the perimeter to Edwards, who drives into the paint, weaves through traffic, fires back out, far side to Nikhil. Jumper, far side, inside the arc, missed. And the Raptors grab the rebound. Barrett across center. Dips behind the screen set by Pirtle, lost the handle, got it back, bounce pass, cross court, picked off by Alexander Walker. Looked like he might have traveled there, but he gets it out to Edwards, back to Nikhil, driving along the baseline. Missed the shot, was contested at the tin by Barrett.
Those are the turnovers that RJ has to avoid. I could see what he saw, but just hold that one a little bit longer.
Barrett in the lane. And he drives to the tin with the left hand on the right side. Got it to go. Toronto goes up 4-3.
Nice job by RJ. Good cut.
2 minutes gone by here in the opening quarter. Alexander Walker to McDaniels, over to Randall on the far side. Now Randall straight away. Jacks up the three ball, missed it. Rebound to Pirtle. And Yak's going to bring it up for Toronto. Doesn't do that very often as he flips it over to Barnes, far side.
Well, Darko wants that ball over center as fast as possible.
Now Ochai has it. Far side inside the arc, trying to come along the baseline. Reverse layup is good. He beat Anthony Edwards to the tin and made him pay.
Well, Anthony Edwards thought he was going to stop and pull up. You're able to keep going with that dribble, especially when you're on your weak hand.
6-3 Toronto. Alexander Walker in the lane, drives, tried to throw it up, and he was fouled. And it's going to be coming in, I believe, on, is it on RJ?
Yeah, RJ Barrett.
Yep.
Ochai did a nice job. Started with the left hand, got back to the right on that last bucket, and then got all the way to the basket. I like the ball handling there. I just like the confidence that Ochai's playing with.
So I told you I was going to tell you an Anthony Edwards story.
Let's hear it.
Before the ball game, our colleague Michael Grange said to Darko Rajakovic, what do you do with Anthony Edwards now that he's basically turned into Steph Curry? And Darko, without skipping a beat, said, I don't believe Anthony Edwards has turned into Steph Curry. I think he's turned into Michael Jordan. And then he took a pause and he said, I've been watching basketball a long time. MJ was my guy. I have never seen a player as close to Michael Jordan than Anthony Edwards. Barnes got his pass picked off and coming the other way. McDaniels throws down a dunk right in the grill of Barnes, who went back to contest the shot.
Well, live ball turnover out above the arc. You're obviously looking at a 2 or 3 on 1.
Barnes to Pirtle below the free throw line, goes into the far corner to Ochai. Had to jump up to save that pass. Out to Barrett, over to Barnes on the wing near side. Triple is good. And Scotty gives it right back to McDaniels after McDaniels dunked in his grill.
And Scotty's got a technical for celebrating his 3, according to Jason Goldenberg, a little bit too vociferously.
And Scotty's basically saying, hold on a second.
The guy dunked in my face and
hammed it up and mugged for his teammates. And you didn't call him, and then I give it back to him, and you're going to tell me that I get the text?
Scotty was even giving it to the bench, right? Like he was saying, you know, you guys are yelling off. No, take that. Take those 3. Eric, you know my line on this. You can't legislate emotion out of the game. Let the guys play. Let them play.
Scotty still in a full conversation. Does not like the call.
I don't blame him.
He's still talking. Goggles are up on the forehead right now. Now he pulls them down. We even call them goggles. They're more like glasses, right?
Yeah.
And now a defensive 3-second violation going against Jakob Pirtle. And it looked like Yak was about 15 feet from the hoop and just guarding Rudy Gobert in the corner. Oh, boy. Don't start this again, please. 9-8 Toronto leading. It was 9-7. But the technical free throw was made for Minnesota to make it 9-8 after Alexander Walker hit that one, and now Minnesota gets another free throw, but that one rims out as Alexander Walker couldn't make good on that one. So Toronto stays on top for now. It's 9-8, 8:42 to go opening quarter. Inbounding from the far side, it's Edwards. Gets it into Nikhil in the far corner inside the arc, back to a cutting Edwards. Over in the corner to McDaniels, wide open on the wing near side. Randall buries the 3.
That's where you got to be aware of Randall. Listen, people didn't like the trade. Remember, Chris Finch had him in New Orleans when he was an assistant, so he knows him.
Hurdle in the lane, met at the tin by Edwards, but they're going to say Edwards got too much of the arm and called a foul on Ant. And to the free throw line will go Jakob Hurdle. Jonesy, I want to go back to the story that I said about Anthony Edwards, though, to get your reaction. Hey, that's Darko's opinion. He's clearly entitled to it. The man's like a head coach in the NBA. But I got to imagine there are a lot of people that are saying, hold on a second. Anthony Edwards, as great as he is, and a rising superstar in the game, he's the closest thing you've seen to Michael Jordan. A lot of people would automatically go, hold on, what about, I don't know, Kobe Bryant?
Kobe, I would say, I'm not putting words, or I'm not inside Darko's head, but I think he is probably thinking in terms of potential and overall athleticism, in terms of the ability to kind of get to your spots and not be thrown off, play at your own pace in this era.
Right.
You know, dunking on people, the confidence, the swagger, all of that. Maybe the whole package. Hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think back in my time, I would say Kobe was.
Unfortunately, Pirtle, who has done pretty solidly and played fairly well at the free throw line this year compared to other years. I mean, still only 65%. Couldn't come up with any at the stripe there and missed both, but the Raptors get back defensively, grab a steal. Barnes comes the other way, met by two defenders, throws it out on the perimeter to Grady Dick. Dick tracks it down toward that far sideline, then out on the perimeter, got his pocket picked in and trying to chase down that loose ball away from Alexander Walker. He dives to the floor, takes out Nikhil's legs, and is called for the loose ball foul.
Well, he lost the ball initially, Nikhil, and then managed to get it back.
So the Raptors lead 11. Check that, excuse me. Minnesota leads 11-9 with 7:56 to go in the opening quarter as Edwards brings it across center with Ochai in front of him. Now driving on the near side. Crossover, step back. No good on the triple. Down low, Gobert and Pirtle fight for it. From our angle, it looked like it might have been off Rudy, but the official says, nope, it's Minnesota ball.
See, and that's one where, yeah, if you challenge and you lose this early, it's not worth the possession or the challenge.
Minnesota by 2, looking to add to it right now. Over on the far sideline, Alexander Walker with the up fake, dribbles inside the arc, little floater from the far side toward the block. He missed, but Minnesota gets the rebound back. Gobert is fouled, and Rudy is going to the free throw line.
Well, got to come up with the loose ball. I mean, ball knocked around. Part of getting a stop and securing things is coming up with the rebound and the loose ball.
So Gobert heads to the stripe for the Timberwolves. On the season, he shoots an even 80% coming into this ball game, averaging 11 points, 10.5 rebounds. Shooting 63% from the floor overall as he knocks down the first free throw to put Minnesota up by 3, their largest lead of the game. Timberwolves enter action at 8-6 overall. The Raptors at 3-12. Final game of this homestand for the Raptors before they hit the road again beginning on Sunday. Second free throw good as well. 4-point lead. Barnes to Pirtle in the lane, went right at Gobert and gets it to go. Kissed it off glass on a soft one-hander. Yeah. Raptors trail by 2.
Rudy got a piece of that too. It'll be a challenge for Jakob because normally he's able to get that thing off without any restrictions, unencumbered, but Rudy Gobert's already got a touch on a couple of them.
Edwards drives into the paint, sucks in 3 defenders, goes out into the near corner to Randall. Randall with Grady Dick in front of him, elevates for the 3. Good job by Grady.
Really good job. Being disciplined as well.
And now Grady down the floor trying to drive to the tin, got his pocket picked and turned it over. Tough break there. Randall down Main Street, bumps into Barrett, throws it up at the tin, and gets fouled. And it'll be 2 free throws for Randall as he went at his former Knick teammate.
Yeah, tough to stop a guy coming downhill at you like that. And again, it was a live ball turnover from Grady that was the issue. Toronto's already turned it over 4 times in the game.
6:49 to go opening quarter. The Raptors trailing the Timberwolves 13-11 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans. What would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Whoop. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball.
Hey, Raptors fans, thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Raptors matchup. We really appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with us, enjoying yourselves while we tank for flag, because apparently that's what's going on. Thanks for hitting that like button and sharing this thing out so we can get more basketball fans here in the chat chanting, "We the North! We the North!" Let's go, Raptors. Let's get after it tonight, and thank you once again for being here. We'll see you guys back in the chat.
Opportunities because of Toronto's miscues.
They've got 4 more shots, but they've got 6 free throws. And when you're retreating in transition and it's tough to match up, now you get those fouls as people are trying to sort it out and stop the ball and do that on the fly. So you can't turn it over. It's very simple. You just can't turn it over like that, especially the live ball versions.
We get set to resume action with Scotty Barnes getting a rest right now as Davion Mitchell has checked into the ball game. And the first free throw is no good for Randall. So Minnesota so far already at the line 7 times. And now 6 of 8 as the second one goes for Randall. Allows the Timberwolves to push the lead back to 3. 4 was their largest. Pirtle hands off to Barrett inside the arc. Barrett thought about the step back, then drives on Gobert and got all the way to the tin and laid it in. What footwork and what a handle from R.J. Barrett.
Yeah, doing a nice job. Misdirection, going right and then coming back to his strong hand. Also changing speed in the offing.
Randall comes around a screen set by Gobert, gets to the free throw line. Ochai in front of him, and on the pass off, they call the foul on a reach against Ochai. It'll be sideline out of bounds for the Timberwolves. They'll do it from the near side, just to the left of the Raptor bench. And check that, it won't be sideline out of bounds, as that is now the 15th foul. So free throws again for Randall and the Timberwolves. This will be attempts 9 and 10, Jonesy, and we're not even past the halfway point of quarter number 1.
Well, it speaks to a couple issues. Turnovers, and then the other basic concept of playing good defense without fouling. I mean, I look at it. Toronto's in the bonus. Minnesota has 1 team foul, right? And part of the 1 team foul is, yes, there's a lot of jump shots, but you're turning the ball over. You don't have a chance to put them in peril when it comes to fouls.
Chris Boucher comes into the ball game now for the Raptors as R.J. Barrett sits down. DiVincenzo and Reed, Naz Reed, coming in for Minnesota. I'll give you the lineups here in a second in terms of who's on the floor. As Pirtle now throws it into Davion Mitchell, who will bring it up for the Raptors. Minnesota extending the lead back to 3 at 16-13. Mitchell out on the far wing. Now dipping behind the Pirtle screen to get to the free throw line on the near side. Over on the near wing to Boucher, back to Mitchell. Mitchell drives into the paint, bounces the pass on the right block to a wide open Pirtle who floats it up and in.
Mitchell with great penetration that time. They went for his shot fake.
Naz Reid driving on the far side, stops in the far corner. He's got the switch as he's going to try and go to work on Davion Mitchell. Bullying his way into the paint to the tin, misses with the running floater, and Mitchell gets in front of Randall to take that rebound away. Great job by Davion Mitchell. Far corner, open look, Boucher, 3-ball, and wow, an air ball from Chris Boucher. Don't see that very often.
Well, they ran at him. They gave him a good challenge.
Raptors down by 1, 5:20 to play in the quarter. DiVincenzo over on the near side to Randall. Randall was already in stride when he caught the pass, went at the tin, missed the shot, and instead of squeezing it, Pirtle tipped it out right back into the hands of Randall, and luckily for Toronto, McDaniels misses a 3-ball from the far corner. Grady Dick up top to Mitchell on the logo at center. Trying to play with that Pirtle screen, gets to the line, stops his dribble, goes back out on the wing to Boucher, back up top to Mitchell. Nearly had it taken away by McDaniels. Mitchell over to Boucher, 3-ball on the wing far side, missed that one as well. And Minnesota with the rebound.
Raptors need to be careful with the passes going literally across the midline of the court.
Edwards dips around the Randall screen, went right, comes back left, weaves through traffic, gets to the tin and lays it in. That was an incredible bucket from Mitchell.
That's the, quote, Michael Jordan style, right? Treading air, taking body contact.
And now Edwards on the far side, about 6-8 feet above the arc. He bumps into Ochai, picks up the foul, and that's his second. And Edwards looking over at Chris Finch saying, it's okay, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good.
Every player says that till he gets his third now before the first quarter's over.
Well, Finch is for now listening to his superstar, and he's letting him stay out there.
He's got 2 minutes.
Better hope he doesn't pick up a foul in 2 minutes. That said, if you're a Raptor fan, you better hope he does. 5 points for Edwards on 2 of 3 shooting, and now 2 rebounds. Leading scorer for the Timberwolves is Randall with 6. On the other side for the Raptors, Barrett has 4. Toronto trailing 18-15 with 4:22 to go in the opening quarter. Toronto inbounds from the baseline. Great cut to the tin right underneath. Good catch from Ochai, who goes up and under to lay it in.
Really nice job. The cutting by the Raptors has been so good all year.
Toronto doesn't get back quick enough, and Darko is not happy about that as Dillingham goes quickly down the other end and lays it up and in, getting behind the Raptor defense. And Darko is not happy. He is steaming right now.
Well, you score a basket, that theoretically should give you a chance to get back, match up, square off with somebody, and set your defense. Not have them run it up your back and lay it in.
20-17, Minnesota leading Toronto with 4:11 to go in the first quarter. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans. What would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Craig. Craig likes it warm. Craig loves
What's up, basketball fans? Now's the time of the night for you to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. How far out around the world do we have Raptors fans, or the opposite team's fans, because the Raptors are really bad this year? But thank you for being here. Let us know. Put your country's flag emoji in the chat, or let us know your city and province in Canada, city and state in the United States, and all over the world. Let's get back to the basketball. Thank you for participating in the chat and letting us know where you're watching from. Now let's go Raptors. Let's get a freaking W. Let's go.
Super speed doesn't translate to radio, but when our hero runs, she sounds like this. If you ran at the speed of light, you'd sound funny too. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Just for license 12616.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 4:11 to go in the opening quarter. The Raptors trailing by 3, 20-17. Again, Raptors for the first time this season wearing the City Connect jerseys. This is also the first of 4 GOAT nights. GOAT, but not greatest of all time, greatest of all Toronto.
Ah.
And I understand that they're going to be introducing a few celebs over the course of the evening. I don't know who. I don't know where they are. I don't know what the involvement is, but greatest of all Toronto. Ochai has it above the arc, stops his dribble, finds Pirtle though in the lane, got to the free throw line, an up fake as he passed to Boucher, and he hesitated under the tin and then got hammered. I mean hammered underneath by Randall. And now Chris Boucher is going to go to the free throw line. Boucher flexing out that right arm right now. He got hit hard by Randall.
A good job coming out of the timeout. The Raptors get to the basket, get a score, break the run, and hopefully will retreat on defense. I'm sure with some urging from Darko after what happened last time.
Boucher hit the first, missed the second, 1 of 2 at the stripe. The Raptors as a team just 1 for 4 at the free throw line. Dillingham from Minnesota up top to DiVincenzo, got a good look at a 3 but missed badly. But the rebound goes into the far corner to Naz Reid. Minnesota with another opportunity. Randall gets into the paint, missed the shot, but he's fouled by Pirtle, and back to the free throw line for Julius Randle.
So here's the issue right now. Gobert is out, and the Raptors are going to take Pirtle out because Pirtle has to match up with a, let's say, a quicker, more offensive perimeter type big in either Randall or Naz Reid. So off the bench, you're going to see Mobo. It's a good matchup for him. So Darko's got some versatility, and good of him to go and use it right now.
Randall hits the first free throw. He's now 4 of 5 at the stripe. Team high, game high, 7 points. Minnesota leading 21-18 as we get set for the second free throw. On the floor now for the Raptors, RJ Barrett, the only starter out there with Davion Mitchell, Chris Boucher, Jonathan Mobo, and Jamison Battle, who's come in. Randall, second free throw is clean. It's Randall, Edwards, DiVincenzo, Reed, and Dillingham. Again, Edwards still playing with those 2 fouls. Might have just got called for one right there if the refs were watching, as he held on to the wrist of RJ Barrett, nearly pulled him to the floor. As Mitchell gets into the lane, now fires a pass in the near corner to Boucher. Out to Barrett. Barrett trying to go at Edwards, gets into the lane, scoops it up and in as he went off glass. Great job.
He went to his right. Edwards was sitting on the left. RJ gave a little move, and Edwards thought, okay, here he goes. And RJ, the art of deception, getting back to the right hand.
Raptors down 2. Edwards gets into the lane, sucks in defenders, fires into the far corner, and missing the triple was Naz Reid. Rebound to RJ Barrett. Toronto with a chance to tie or take the lead. With under 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter, Barrett on the near side. Was looking for somebody, couldn't get it to Battle. Nearly had a pass picked up again as he went up top to Davion Mitchell, getting to the free throw line. Mitchell leans in, then steps back, jumper up, no good. Minnesota on the glass, and it's controlled on the baseline by Randall as he pushes ahead to DiVincenzo across center. Flips the pass to Randall. Down Main Street comes Randall. Had his pocket pick ball knocked away by Mobo. Looked clean, and they're going to say it's a foul and send Randall back to the free throw line. Jason Goldenberg with the call again. I don't know about that.
Boy. Well, this is where the Raptor fans can have some influence. You know, it's put up there on the Jumbotron. Randall misses the first free throw. Ball don't lie.
What's put up on the Jumbotron, Joe?
Well, it was put up, that the replay, and it sure looked like Mobo had a lot of the orange.
Sure
but
did.
That's a time when the fans, you get up and you start making some noise now. Hey, ref, you missed that. And it just, everybody just saw it. But those are the little things in home court advantage.
Randall misses the first free throw, as Jonesy noted. Second one is up and clean, 1 of 2 at the stripe. And now 6 of 8 overall.
Gobert waiting to get in because Pirtle's out. Couldn't get in because of the free throws.
Raptors trailing 23-20. And now a defensive three against Naz Reid, camped out in the lane a little bit too long. So now Toronto will get a free throw. So it could turn into a 3 or even 4-point trip down the floor. Jamison Battle, the rookie's going to take the free throw for the Raptors. As he steps to the stripe, and the lefty release is good. Raptors trail 23-21. Toronto still shooting 69%. The Timberwolves shooting 29%, and yet they lead the Raptors by 2.
Free throw is the difference.
Minnesota 5 of 17. The Raptors 9 of 13. In terms of the shooting, Randall and Edwards on the bench right now for Minnesota. Mobo over the shoulder pass out to the logo at center to RJ Barrett. Over on the wing near side to Boucher. Boucher flips it back to Barrett. Shot clock down to 5. Barrett tried to pass to Boucher, got it to him in traffic in the lane. He turns, fires, and a looping jumper over the outstretched arm of Gobert goes, and we're tied at 23. Just over 2 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Reid tried to get into the paint, ran into Mobo and Boucher. Raptors picked up the ball and then turned it over again as they got into the open court.
No, Chris didn't pick it up. He tried to go with one hand, and it got loose, and then Minnesota returned the favor. The pass into the corner to Reid, tried to deflect it and dribble it in the air to catch the ball with two hands. Always to start your dribble.
5 turnovers for the Raptors, only 2 for the Timberwolves, but that's the first one that the Raptors have made Minnesota pay as Barrett scoops it up and in. RJ's having a fine night right now, and he's given Toronto the lead. 25-23, 90 seconds to play. A late whistle comes in on another foul against the Raptors, and Minnesota will be going back to the free throw line for attempts 15 and 16 in the opening quarter.
It's like every foul's resulted in shots. The Raptors have 8 personal fouls. Minnesota's got 16 free throws. The Timberwolves still not over the limit. We got a minute and a half to go in the quarter.
Gobert, first free throw, good. Minnesota trailing by 1, 25-24. Gobert at the line. Takes a deep breath. And the free throw is clean. Now tied at 25 with under 90 seconds to play. Davion Mitchell starts to bring it up, then drops it to RJ Barrett, who brings it across center, back to Mitchell, back to Barrett. On the near side, RJ flips it over to Battle. Battle on the wing near side, now goes at the free throw line to Mobo. Went right, came back left, met by Gobert, kicks it out on the perimeter to Chris Boucher, busted. 3-ball from the far side. Raptors lead by 3.
Really, really great job. Good catch and shoot and shot prep from Chris Boucher.
Dillingham to Reid, back to Dillingham. Dips around the screen set by Reid. Got into the paint and passed it to Reid. A great little two-man game for Minnesota.
Really nice pass by the rookie Dillingham. That's NBA veteran stuff right there.
Raptors still lead, though, by 1 with 48 seconds to play. Mitchell out towards center. On a switch, he's picked up by Alexander Walker. Mobo comes up, sets a screen. Mitchell went around it, then whipped the pass out far wing to Battle. Battle gets into the lane, bunny hop. Little floater over Gobert, rim glass and in. Jamison Battle showing us something.
Well, did a good job getting to the middle and well aware of the shot blocker.
Dillingham again was looking for Reid, who got tripped up, and the Raptors push ahead. Here comes Boucher, two-hand flush. Raptors lead by 5. Largest lead of the game for either team.
Well, nice job by Boucher rotating in. They were looking for Reid, who was tripped, lost his balance, but Chris would have been there for a block or a challenge anyway.
9 seconds to play. Last shot time for Minnesota. Nikhil Alexander Walker. Jamison Battle in front of him. Nikhil goes out to DiVincenzo in the far corner to Dillingham inside the arc. Jumper up, no good at the buzzer. And the Raptors end the frame with a defensive stand and a 5-point lead.
Darko out on the floor, clapping his hands as he comes out onto the floor because that was crisp rotation on that last defensive sequence. Flying switches, challenging, closing out, and they get the miss.
So 12 minutes in the books, and the Raptors lead 32-27, shooting 78% from the floor in the first quarter. You're listening to Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Fall for Subaru by enjoying fall to the fullest. Think scarlet, burgundy, amber, crimson and copper, but never, never blue. Because with Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall is for thick, dark mud splats, terracotta mountain roads, radiant sunsets, kaleidoscopic leaf carpets, and the boldest.
What's up, Raptors fans? I just wanted to stop and say thank you for making this community awesome. Thank you for chatting it up. Let's take it back for a minute. Do you remember this shot?
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger? Game! Series! Toronto has won!
Had to take it back to the buzzer beater there from Kawhi Leonard in 2019 on that run that won Game 7 against the Sixers. Yeah, the diehard Raptors fans remember that shot very well. One of the best shots in basketball history. Thank you for hanging out with us and making this community what it is. Let's get back to the basketball. Let's go, Raptors. Let's get the W.
APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you, getting set to start the second quarter. The Raptors enter the frame with a 32-27 lead. Chris Finch saying before the ball game, I'm kind of paraphrasing Jonesy, but talking about Toronto, they fight hard, they battle, and they seem to be in almost every game. And that is the MO of this Raptor team early on, despite the 3-12 record.
Well, when you're reestablishing culture and trying to turn it around, winning in a rebuild, that's the baseline. You got to play hard.
Mobo at the free throw line was looking to give it up, and just at the far elbow, he turns, fires, and floats it up over Gobert and got it to go.
Nice job by Mobo, eating up the space that Gobert was giving him.
Jamal Shed into the ballgame to start this second quarter, trying to hound DiVincenzo. As Minnesota gets it around the perimeter, Naz Reid to Edwards, back over to DiVincenzo, far wing. Up fake, drives into the paint, kicks it back out, far corner, triple up and in for McDaniels.
Penetration just kills you. Gets into the middle of the lane, you have to help. And pitch it to a guy who's shot ready in the corner.
Raptors had pushed the lead to 7. It's now down to 4. Barnes back out to Shed. Over to Barrett, logo at center, guarded by Edwards. Dips around a screen set by Mobo, gets into the paint, and had his pocket picked. The reach from behind by DiVincenzo. Here comes Minnesota. Toronto with their 6th turnover. Reed underneath to a wide open Gobert, dunks it down. Minnesota's cut it to 2.
Live ball turnover, you can't match up. Big guy runs the floor for a dunk.
Barnes on the near side, inside the arc, trying to back down to McDaniels. Looking to turn into the paint. He went right, came back left, met by Gobert, goes back outside to Barrett. Barrett drives to the tin. Fires back out on the perimeter to Boucher. To Mobo. Mobo underneath, went left, turns back right, and had a great look, but left it short as he beat Gobert but couldn't hit the shot. McDaniels in the lane, kicks out on the perimeter to Edwards. Edwards with the sidestep, 3-ball, air ball from Ant, and the Raptors get the ball back.
Well, that ball, it rolled up his arm. He didn't have it in the proper part of his hand to shoot the ball. It was more in his palm and down towards the base of his wrist. You could tell it was a funky release.
Barnes up top to Barrett. Toronto leading 34-32. Mobo's got it over on the far wing with one toe inside the arc. Now to Barnes straight away, dipping around a Mobo screen, getting to the far elbow. Jumper up and clean over Gobert.
Gobert's going to play that drop coverage. Nice job. Nice read by Scotty.
Toronto's pushed the lead back to 4, 36-32. Ball loose on the floor. Raptors got after it.
Shed with a great job blowing up the play, trailing the screen.
Barnes at center. On the logo, hounded by DiVincenzo. Pulls up for a 3-ball, relatively deep one, doesn't matter. And Scotty stares down the bench like he's in science class. Really, he should play with a little tape between the middle of those glasses.
Really showing the range and how he's worked on his outside shot this summer.
DiVincenzo down low under the 10 to McDaniels. He walked. They don't call it, and instead call a foul on Boucher, bucket and one. He walked.
There were too many heads in my way from where we sit, but we're going to get a look at the replay. The last play, when the Raptors scored, Shed was all over that one, blowing up the play. And the Raptors able to get out and get an easy one.
McDaniels makes good on the free throw, so a three-point play pulls Minnesota within 4. Mobo trailing play, grabs it, trying to come down Main Street, cut off by Gobert. Goes back out on the perimeter, far side to Shed, now at the logo at center. Barnes whips it over on the wing near side. RJ got a good look, missed it. Gobert high for the rebound. Minnesota with the stop. They come the other way with the Raptors leading by 4. Naz Reid trying to drive to the 10, held up by Boucher, gets the ball back, missed the shot, ball tipped out. Minnesota's got it. It's Anthony Edwards on the wing near side, trying to shake free from Mobo. Pull-up jumper, 2 contests, both Mobo and Barnes there, and again, Edwards misses. Here comes Barrett the other way, over on the wing, far side. To Shed, cross-court to Boucher, and a bad miss for Chris.
Well, that was a tough shot. Gobert was coming out. That's when you drive the closeout and go by him.
DiVincenzo 3-ball far side goes, and Minnesota cuts it to 1. Raptors leading 39-38. Grady Dick and Jakob Poeltl coming in at the next whistle. Barnes, 3-ball near side off the glass, missing. Barnes trying to say that he was fouled. I didn't see it, but
the 3-ball is so prominent right now. We're seeing both teams, in my eyes, settle for some bad shots.
Edwards in the lane, kicks into the corner, the near side, and a late whistle is called by Mark Lindsay on a foul well after the shot was released.
I'm not sure there was a touch there.
Well, Darko is opting to not challenge.
No, but this is where the NBA has to change the rule. And I've been on this for years.
Yep.
That foul had nothing to do with the miss.
Came after the shot was released.
The ball was halfway to the basket.
Yep.
Okay, you want to call a foul? That is an after the shot foul. So take it on the side. Don't give the guy 3 free throws for that.
I hear you, Jonesy. You're not wrong. But it is 3 free throws as McDaniels goes to the line, knocks down the first 2, and he awaits his third right now. 7:55 to play here in the second quarter. And Minnesota now leads by 2. 41-39 after they trailed by as many as 7. Shed out on the far side inside the arc. Curling around a Poeltl screen, gets to the free throw line, now backs up to the perimeter, finds Barnes, who cuts into the paint, fake the pass, throws it up, missed the shot. Boucher could only get one hand on it, and Minnesota comes away with the rebound. McDaniels, right to left, over to DiVincenzo. Thought about a deep 3-ball, instead held it. Boucher up on DiVincenzo. 7:25 to go here in the first half. Lobbing a pass over on the far side to Randall. Randall, jump shot, 16-footer is good. Minnesota leads by 4.
Randall pushing off the dribble with the left hand and extending that right arm consistently to ward off the defense.
Minnesota now on an 11-0 run after Toronto had the lead as high as 7. Shed gets into the lane, was stripped by Edwards, and here comes Minnesota. Edwards lobbing a pass, far corner, DiVincenzo up fake, sets the feet, 3-ball up, no good. Gobert battling down low, had the ball knocked away by Barnes, and Toronto comes away with the rebound.
Good job by Poeltl to go and save it. You never know who the referee's going to call it for.
Shed across center, hands to Barnes, gives it back to Shed. Shed on the near side, weaves into the paint, hands it off to Poeltl, who now turns, fires a pass into the far corner to Boucher for 3, as Chris knocks it down, pulls Toronto within 1.
Smart play by Poeltl. Kind of, I wouldn't say struggling, but the pass was tough. It was knocked away. Did a good job to find Boucher in the corner.
6:22 to go in the second quarter, and now away from the ball, they call a foul on Shed, allegedly holding up DiVincenzo from getting to the paint and getting through a screen. And now the coaching staff of the Raptors, including now Shed, complaining to Sheree Mitchell, the official, saying, if you're going to blow that whistle, how about starting to blow it on the other end as well? Toronto has been called for 11 fouls in this game to Minnesota's 3. With 6:24 to go in the first half, the Raptors trailed by 1, 43-42. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
At Tangerine, we're fans of fans who are invested in the game. Like Mary, who stands 5 inches away from her 55-inch flat-screen TV and yells at it even though she knows no one on the TV can hear a word she's saying. Is it effective? There's no evidence. Do we support her? Yeah. Screaming at the TV for all 4 quarters. That's how Mary fans. And we're fans of Mary. This is how we fan. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Whether it's towing your big toys or hauling gear for the job site, the Toyota Tundra handles it all without breaking a sweat. By the end, you'll be standing there, wishing you could high-five that truck. That's what we call being Tundra-struck. It's time to be impressed. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2024 Tundra 4x4 Crewmax SR from $129 weekly for 40 months at 2.39% with $5,300 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Arena. Second quarter action is brought to you by Enbridge Sustain. With a smart flow heating and cooling system that's always thinking about you, you're the real MVP. You know, Jonesy, I look at the Raptor bench, and I mentioned the injury report at the beginning of the ball game. We just talked about the injuries in terms of the good news, those returning to the lineup, or at least the one in Scotty Barnes, but still going without Kelly Olynyk, still without Bruce Brown, and yes, he's dressed like a cowboy again. And Emmanuel Quickly sidelined yet again. Like, the record is not great at 3-12, but when you think about how hard this team has battled, but they can't get over the hump, and as a result, the record is not great. What a difference it would make if you had a healthy team. I mean, you can say that about any team, but the Raptors have been ravaged.
I mean, we look at some of the teams that Toronto was in the same neighborhood as, you know, Brooklyn, Atlanta. These teams have more wins just because they've been healthier.
Edwards drove far side, got to the baseline, tried to jackknife the pass back out to the perimeter, and it goes up and over the heads of everybody, and Minnesota turns it over. Turnovers have now mounted for the Timberwolves. They're up to 6, which matches the same total as the Raptors.
Well, both teams with 7 points off the turnovers.
Raptors now with a chance to grab the lead. And away from the ball, we've got a foul coming in on Minnesota.
Nikhil had a hold of Grady. Grady doing such a nice job moving without the ball. You know, these shooters, these Reggie Miller, these Ray Allen types, you got to keep moving.
Mitchell on the near side. Went left, came back right, backdoor cut. Jameson battle along the baseline, keeps the dribble alive, gives it up to Ochai. Abaji up top, straight away to Mitchell. Dips behind a Pirtle screen, got to the free throw line, kicks it out, far wing. Grady Dick, good look, busted. Grady Dick with the triple, Raptors lead.
Mitchell penetration, hard roll by Pirtle. They had to respect it. Grady relocated, and the defender too far away.
45-43, Raptors on top by 2. And driving on the far side, going off glass, Randall misses as it rimmed out. And here come the Raptors. Davion Mitchell drives down Main Street, got to the tin, and he's fouled by McDaniels, so Davion Mitchell's going to go to the free throw line.
Davion, really nice job. You know, we talk about the last basket. He did a great job. The roll by Pirtle was so strong that Nickeil Alexander-Walker had to honor it. If he doesn't, then Pirtle's going to get a layup. And when he moved, Grady relocated. So he was too far away for Nikhil to close out, for Alexander Walker to close out or get back. So really well coordinated and executed play by Toronto.
5:31 to go here in the first half. Mitchell hit the first, missed the second, but the Raptors battled to get the rebound off that missed free throw. So the possession continues. Mitchell curls around a Pirtle screen, gets into the paint, stops on a dime. Now tried to go to Yak down low and is picked off by Rudy Gobert. I thought Mitchell had a chance for a floater in the lane.
Well,
Jonesy.
he saw Gobert close. I mean, it's with the size and Gobert's closing ability.
Raptors leading 46-43. Left to right cross-court pass. Walker looked like he might have walked, and then as he got into the lane, he throws up a pass to Gobert. He's fouled. Now Minnesota trying to sell it like that was a shot. That was clearly a pass for Gobert. That was a pass-off, for sure. Come on. Thank you. So Mark Lindsay taps his chest and says, my bad. And it'll be sidelined out of bounds for Minnesota. I don't know what Nikhil Alexander-Walker's complaining about. That was clearly a pass as he was looking for Rudy Gobert.
If it wasn't a pass, it was a really bad shot.
Yes, okay. Fair enough, yes, that's true.
Like, I would say, yeah, it was a pass, because I wouldn't want to be claiming that as one of my shots.
Yes, fair point. Edwards inbounding from the near sideline. Lobs it over to Gobert, well above the arc. Ochai in front of him. Alexander Walker comes back to get the ball on the logo, now driving on the far side. Got by Battle, took a bump, throws it up, missed the shot, no call, as the Raptors stand tall defensively.
Good job by Jamison Battle. Good individual one-on-one defense.
Mitchell, far elbow, into the paint, stops, starts, gets in, bumped by Edwards as he throws it up at the rim. I don't know if they're going to give him shots. They should. Yep. But either way, Jonesy, that's going to be foul number 3 on Anthony Edwards.
Really nice job by, oh, they're going to say side out.
How did I know? So third foul of the ball game for Edwards with only 5 points in 17 minutes.
So here's your free throws. Toronto 3 of 7. Minnesota 17 of 20.
It was 2 of 5 for Toronto before Mitchell went to the free throw line a couple of minutes ago. So it was 4 times the amount. Now it's a little less. Grady Dick triple, no good. Mobo comes out of nowhere to take it away from Gobert, and then the Raptors on the perimeter give it away again.
That's just a soft, unforced turnover. There was a pass. You're standing 3 feet away. Catch the ball.
8 turnovers for the Raptors. They lead by 3. They've given up 7 points off those 8 turnovers, and they come away clean on this one as DiVincenzo just missed a 3-ball from 30 feet. Back the other way comes Grady Dick driving, went toward the tin, got met by Rudy Gobert. A lot of contact, but they say it's a clean block. Here comes Randall, bumps into Mitchell. If Mitchell falls over, I wonder if that's a charge. We play on. Randall double teamed as Grady Dick comes over. They go up top to DiVincenzo, and it's a walk on Julius Randle.
Good call. Good call. He went into the double team, thought he got rid of it.
R.J. Barrett's going to check into the ball game with the next opportunity as Davion Mitchell gets set to throw it into Jamison Battle. Battle gets it and then taps it right back to Mitchell as the Raptors advance across center with 3:45 to go here in the first half. Toronto leading by 3. Mitchell gets to the far elbow, gets into the lane. There's that floater I was talking about before, but he missed it, and a rebound to McDaniels.
The specter of Gobert looming large in the lane. I don't care what anybody says. He's just a big wall in there.
Randall just got his pocket picked as he tried to get into the paint. Both Ochai and Mitchell were there, but then Mobile got denied at the 10, and a quick whistle on a timeout from Finch. Chris Finch, as Minnesota got the rebound. A golden opportunity for Toronto to go up 5, but they couldn't take advantage.
Jonathan Mobile looked like he was almost looking for the defense. Take it hard and dunk that thing.
3:26 to go in the first half. Raptors leading 46-43 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans. What would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Check out 32 Thoughts, the podcast, brought to you by the GMC Sierra Pro Graphites. Ready to tackle any challenge, the GMC Sierra delivers power, reliability, and versatility wherever the road takes you. Canada-wide clearance is on now. Get 0% finance.
Cheers, insiders. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for this Raptors game. Now, you, the one that hasn't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Come on, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Raptors game this season, every single Maple Leafs game this season. If it's Toronto Sports and it's live, we're live on Toronto Sports Insider. So thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for being subscribed and being an insider. And if you haven't done so yet, I know you're doing it right now. Thank you so much. Let's go Raptors. Back to the basketball.
Hundreds of everyday essentials. Head to Shoppers Drug Mart for the Black Friday Super Sale. Save big, leave happy. Conditions apply. Details in store.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 3:26 to go in the first half. And Jonesy on this first night of the GOAT Nights. Greatest of all Toronto. Keisha Shante playing the halftime show tonight.
Oh, nice.
So I think I know where you'll be. Normally when there's a musical act, you're sitting courtside. I'll be there as well.
It'll be after a trip to use the facilities. That's the only time we get, right? So
Raptors leading 46-43. Anthony Edwards on the bench with 3 fouls for the Timberwolves, has scored only 5 points tonight.
Well, I'm sure people are aware of it, Eric, but as the kids would say, it's been a minute since Minnesota's won here in Toronto.
19 straight.
19 years. This road trip, they have a chance to kill 2 streaks. 19 years they haven't won in Toronto, and 20 years they haven't won in Boston.
DiVincenzo on the near side, weaving through traffic, got into the paint, kicks it back out to Walker to Naz Reid on the wing near side. Deep one for Reid, missed it. Grady Dick with the rebound. Grady over to Mitchell out on the far wing. Mitchell stops, slows things down. Darko yelling to his team, come on, move, and nobody really moving right now. Now finally there is some movement. Ochai comes over, gets the ball from Mitchell, flips it over on the far wing to Barrett with the up fake, drives into the paint, and met by Naz Reid with the swat, but picked up by Mobo, and a 2-hand flush. Raptors get the bucket, they lead by 5.
Nice job by Mobo, good follow.
Minnesota, DiVincenzo down Main Street, kicks into the near corner. 3-ball up for Nikhil, and Alexander Walker drops it down. Minnesota down 2. 48-46. 2:25 to go until half. Barrett on the near side. Bounces a pass back out to Mitchell, into the paint. Tried to give it to Mobo, but lost the handle, and another Toronto turnover, their 9th.
And I would ask Davion Mitchell there, why not the shot? You're in deep, and you're passing to a guy in the dunker spot.
2:14 to go now in the second quarter. Daniele Franceschi coming up with our halftime show. And Dillingham had the ball knocked away by Mitchell. So Minnesota will have to throw it in again, this time on the near side. McDaniels to do the honors. He's played well tonight, 11 points, 4 rebounds for the Wolves. Dillingham has it right now, trying to shake free. Gets it up to Randall. Randall now inside the arc, driving on Mobo, lost the handle, turned it over, picked up by Grady Dick. Grady coming down Main Street, left hand, missed it, put back, guided back into the tin by RJ.
Grady picked that ball up with 2 hands to start his dribble, and he turned it into an old-fashioned 3-on-2.
1:45 to go until half. Out on the far side, DiVincenzo to Reid. Went right, spun back left as he got toward the baseline, missed the shot. But we've got a foul as the 2 teams were battling for the rebound, and they're going to call Mobo on the foul and send Minnesota to the free throw line for their 21st and 22nd attempts. Now, they have taken fewer in the second quarter than they did in the first. They had 16 in the opening quarter. But still.
Well, they're 23rd. It's not like they're
They're not even top half, Jonesy.
No. They're 23rd in the NBA.
That's what, bottom quarter?
Yeah, with 20.8 free throws attempted per game. The Raptors are actually in front of them.
Well, free throws are now 21-7 in terms of the attempts, and it's going to be 22-7 in the second here.
Well, you know what they say about holding a guy to his average or less if you're going to win. That horse is already out of the barn when it comes to free throw attempts.
Randall went 1 for 2 at the stripe. The Raptors leading 50-47. Barrett driving. Got to the 10. He's fouled by his former Knick teammate, DiVincenzo. And R.J. Barrett is heading to the free throw line. It will be the first appearance at the line for Barrett. And Jonesy, this is something that is a developing issue to me as well. We've talked about this on other broadcasts. More than half of Toronto's points are in the paint.
Yep.
So it's not like they're settling for jumpers and just scoring on the perimeter or in the mid-range or anything like that. They are aggressively trying to get to the hoop with 30 of their 50 in the paint, but yet only 7 and now 8 free throw attempts.
Got to find a way to curry favor with the officials and get some of these calls, but if you're Toronto, keep taking it in there. Now, mind you, some of that paint scoring is off fast break scoring, as the Raptors are one of the best teams in the NBA when it comes to scoring on the break.
They've only got 5 tonight, though.
Yeah, but still, I agree.
So Barrett made good at the stripe. Raptors lead by 5. Their largest lead of the game was 7. DiVincenzo drives on the near side, got by everybody, scoops it up and in. Raptor lead cut to 3. Just over a minute to go as Toronto brings it across center. Toward the far side, it's R.J. Barrett. Punched over with the slow dribble. Mobo sets a screen up high. Barrett comes over toward the far side on the wing. Now bounces the pass under the 10 to Mobo. He's got to get out of there as he gives up the pass to Ochai. Got toward the baseline. His pass was tipped, deflected, picked up by Grady. Met on the perimeter with a contest, but did a great job of sort of double pumping to get off the shot. Raptors get the rebound far side. Missing with the 3 was RJ, and Minnesota grabs the rebound. Chance now to tie or pull within 1 for the Timberwolves. DiVincenzo in the lane, hands it off to Randall on a lot of traffic. He lays it up and in. Minnesota trails 52-51 with 26 seconds to play.
He can score, and that's what he's looking to do when he gets the ball. No doubt about what he wants.
Barrett at center. Raptors can pretty much hold for the last shot with about a 2-second differential. Barrett just lost the handle. It's deflected, though, by McDaniels, and Barrett gets it back as he brings it back across center. Over on the far side, now driving toward the 10. Tried to drop it off. Pass picked off. Loose ball picked up by Minnesota. Ahead to DiVincenzo, and he floats it up off glass as he's falling into the baseline. No call. And the Raptors go into the break leading by 1, but they're going to have to clean up the turnovers in the second half.
Unforced turnovers. I mean, Minnesota pressuring them, yes, but if you're the Raptors, you got to be stronger with the ball.
Toronto leads at the break 52-51, led by the 12 points from R.J. Barrett, 14 on the other side for Julius Randle. Toronto shooting 54% in the first half, and again, leading 52-51 with Daniele Franceschi coming up next with the halftime show on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Whoop. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Oh, Maya. Maya. She loves being cool. 21 degrees is her favorite number. God, she's the coolest, especially at night. So I raise the temp at 10 p.m. because she gets chilly when she sleeps. Maya loves using less energy, and I love Maya. We're basically besties.
With SmartFlow from Enbridge Sustain, you won't have to think about your HVAC, but it will always be thinking of you. With smart controls and zero upfront costs. Visit EnbridgeSustainSmartFlow.com to learn more.
Breaking story from Alpine News Network. Firefighter Finn McHose, that's a nickname, right? Needed help contending with a blaze of debt. He called Alpine Credits and a superhero was sent his way. Summoning water, she extinguished the fire and consolidated his debt into one low monthly payment. His floors may be wet, but his debt is under control. Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved. Fiscal license 12616.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Welcome back inside Scotiabank Arena here in downtown Toronto. The Raptors leading the Minnesota Timberwolves 52-51 at the break. I'm your host, Daniele Franceschi. Welcome to our Toronto Raptors halftime show brought to you by Honda. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com. Why don't we take a peek at our halftime box score? And yeah, you could probably hear a little bit of noise and music in the background. That is Keisha Shanti performing here at Scotiabank Arena on a Thursday night. I know there's a pretty popular concert happening up the road, but guess what? Raptors basketball here on a Thursday. Can't beat it. The Dinos leading at recess. 52-51. Man, this is a really interesting box score. Let's start with individual performers here. RJ Barrett leading the way offensively for the Raptors. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 8 from the field. Was a bit of a pedestrian start for him in the first quarter. Got it going in the second quarter and finished the half pretty strong to lead the way offensively. Chris Boucher with 11 points off the bench on 4 of 7 shooting. Again, talk about a pedestrian slow start. First quarter, not too great for him, and then he really got going for the Raptors once he settled in and found a rhythm. Scotty Barnes, of course, the big story today, back in the lineup for the Raptors. He is on a minutes restriction. Started tonight, currently up to 11 minutes of action in the first half. 8 points, 4 rebounds, and a steal for Scotty Barnes. He's been fairly efficient. As for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Julius Randle, my oh my, I've never seen a singular individual player get away with as many push-offs as I have with Julius Randle in the first half of basketball tonight. But nevertheless, 14 points on 3 of 7 shooting. And yes, as you can imagine, been to the charity stripe a bunch. He's 7 for 10 at the foul line through the opening half as the Raptors hold a 1-point lead over Minnesota, a team that they have beaten here in Toronto on 19 straight occasions. It's been a heck of a long time since the T-Wolves have waltzed into this city and picked up a win on the road against the Raptors. The free throw disparity, very notable. And this has been a theme at times early on in the season. Minnesota up to 22 free throw attempts in that first half, 18 of 22 from the charity stripe. The Raptors shooting 54%. In fact, after the first quarter, they were 14 of 18 from the field. But because of that free throw disparity, 22-9 in favor of the Minnesota Timberwolves, here we are at halftime, and it's only a 1-point lead for the Raptors. Let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll take a peek at our NBA out-of-town scoreboard and also hone in on Scotty Barnes in his first game back after an 11-game absence. You're listening to Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and sportsnet.ca.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
If it's a flat or a squeal, a wobble or peel, your tread's worn down or you need a new wheel, wherever you go, you can get a pro at Tread Experts.
The new Michelin Defender 2 tire is designed to outlast.
With a quiet and comfortable ride, you'll have the confidence you need on the roads, whether they're wet or dry. Find a Michelin Tread Experts dealer near you at treadexperts.ca/locations.
From tires to auto repair, we're always there. TreadExperts.ca.
Toronto, your perfect steak awaits. This December, Chop Steakhouse and Bar opens at 181 University Avenue. Enjoy steaks seared to perfection, handcrafted cocktails, and fresh seafood in a modern, vibrant setting. Whether it's a dinner out, happy hour, or late-night cravings, Chop is your new favorite dining destination. Visit chop.ca to view our menu and learn more about downtown Toronto's newest, hottest steakhouse. Chop Steakhouse and Bar, opening soon.
Say hello to Healthier, Happier Feet, Ontario. Kintec has 3 more locations in the Greater Toronto Area. Come in today and let our fit experts bring comfort and support to every adventure with custom orthotics, supportive braces, and top footwear brands. With new locations in Mississauga, Toronto, and Richmond Hill, along with our location in Whitby, there's always a Kintec nearby to keep you active and on your feet for life. Your feet take you everywhere. Let Kintec take care of them.
Shop Black Friday deals at PetSmart. From November 21st to 27th, buy one, get one 50% off dog and cat treats. Save 20% on all Hills Science diet food. Plus, save $3 on all Arm & Hammer cat litter. Shop more incredible deals in-store and online at PetSmart.ca.
At Real Canadian Superstore, earn 25,000 PC Optimum points for every $100 spent on small appliances, home, and more. Plus, get a 10-pound bag of Farmer's Market potatoes at $1.79 each. And until this Sunday, get beef tenderloin at $10.88 a pound. Only at Real Canadian Superstore. Conditions apply. See Fly for details.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
All right, welcome back inside Scotiabank Arena. You're listening to our Toronto Raptors halftime show. Daniele Franceschi with you. Eric Smith, Paul Jones, they will have second half action in just a few moments right here across the Sportsnet Radio Network. Let's take a peek at our NBA out-of-town scoreboard. A relatively quiet night in the association, only 4 games on the schedule. Today, the Charlotte Hornets holding a 14-point lead over the Detroit Pistons at home heading into the fourth quarter. And the only other game in action currently, the Utah Jazz, sitting at 3-11, have a 13-point lead over the Victor Wembanyama-less San Antonio Spurs. That one's still in the first half. Later on tonight, you have Magic and Lakers down in La La Land. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, been very good for your Los Angeles, well, not your Lakers, for the Los Angeles Lakers and J.J. Redick. Again, the free throw disparity, a major story in the first half tonight as the Raptors hold a 1-point lead over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Scotty Barnes, pretty efficient in his return. I was very curious to see what the cascading effect, the snowball effect would be in terms of the usage for the other guys that have stepped up while Scotty Barnes has been sidelined, namely R.J. Barrett. Not much has changed there in terms of his utilization, but Grady Dick, it is notable. Only 6 field goal attempts in that first half, 5 points, 3 rebounds, and I think that's probably what you might come to expect. Good news for the Raptors, though, their bench did indeed produce, outscoring the T-Wolves 19-9 in that department. Minnesota going with a pretty tight rotation, only 8 guys getting in that first half. And in terms of my own personal takeaways, I'm looking at him right now, Davion Mitchell getting some shots up. I thought he was really good in the first half. I would just love if somebody could tell Davion Mitchell, when you come off a screen, can you please be a threat to score? Like, look to score. And he's working on floaters right now because he should be, because that's exactly what he needs to do coming off screen. Snake, put the guy in jail, and then look to make plays when they're giving you space inside the painted area. That would be something I would look to communicate. But overall, Raptors in a good spot here. You're hoping they can limit the turnovers, take care of the foul trouble, and if they do that, they might be in a position here to certainly compete against the T-Wolves down the stretch. Anthony Edwards, by the way, only stuck on 5 points right now, 2 of 5 from the field in 17 minutes of action. As we look towards second half action here, Eric Smith, Paul Jones, they will have the call for you. I'll be back with post-game coverage once this one wraps up from Scotiabank Arena. You are currently listening to Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and sportsnet.ca. Enjoy the second half, everybody.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
'Tis the season to enjoy Swiss Chalet's festive special. Our famous rotisserie chicken, cranberry, stuffing, Lindor chocolates, and a scratch and win card. The festive special. Only $17.99, only at Swiss Chalet. Visit SwissChalet.com for contest details. Participating locations. White meat, taxes, and upgrades extra.
Black Friday is on now at Sport Check. Save up to 60% on winter jackets, shoes, equipment, electronics, and more from the brands you love. See in store or sportcheck.ca for more details. Say it with sport this holiday season.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
Hey, Raptors fans, thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Raptors matchup. We really appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with us, enjoying yourselves while we tank for flag, because apparently that's what's going on. Thanks for hitting that like button and sharing this thing out so we can get more basketball fans here in the chat chanting, "We the North! We the North!" Let's go, Raptors. Let's get after it tonight, and thank you once again for being here. We'll see you guys back in the chat.
Eats the planet
and threatens our nature.
Canada's carbon price is designed to reduce this pollution in order to protect our environment.
And the Canada Carbon Rebate gives money back to Canadians.
In Ontario, an individual gets $560 this year, with a bonus for those in rural areas.
Have it both ways with the Canada Carbon Rebate. Find out how it works and how much you could receive at canada.ca/carbon rebate.
A message from the Government of Canada.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you, getting set to start the second half. And before we get to the basketball, I just got to inform my friend, my colleague, my broadcast partner, that not only are the Browns in a 0-0 tie against the Steelers in a battle on the Thursday nighter. No, well, as I speak, they're now down 3-0 as the Steelers just hit a 48-yard field goal. Boswell with the boot. But, Jonesy, you can get to Cleveland in about, 4 hours? Maybe 5?
Driving, yeah.
It's snowing in Cleveland. It's coming, Jonesy.
No.
Winter is coming.
I hate it.
I know how much my guy loves it. Winter is coming.
Nothing I hate more than cold weather.
It is officially now toque season for Paul Jones.
Oh, yeah. Pants. 2 seasons, pants and shorts, or toque and no toque. Like, people like, oh, you're in Canada your whole life. You get used to it. No, you don't.
This year, you know what's going to happen, though? Where's my guy, Warwick Manners? Is he listening? Jonesy, you got to join the Toques Inside.
Yeah.
Join the club, man. Toques Inside. Maybe Sunday night, our next road broadcast. Toques Inside, Jonesy.
Maybe. We'll think about it. We're in the studio.
We got to cut a deal with somebody, and we'll wear, different toques every night or something. We'll look like Bob and Doug McKenzie. Oh, my God. I look over at Jerry, goes, who?
Yeah, some kids don't even know what you're talking about.
You're fired. Ochai in the lane gives it up to RJ as the Raptors start with the ball in the second half. Barrett fouled as he got into the lane, and a couple of free throws coming for RJ Barrett.
It looks like that's going to be number 4 on Anthony Edwards. RJ, nice job driving right, spinning back to his left, his strong hand, and it looked like Edwards was kind of aware, but RJ still got him.
So Barrett goes to the line, knocks down the first one, 53-51. Raptors lead by 2. Now by 3 as the second free throw goes down. Edwards over to Nikhil on the near sideline, missed the triple, and the Raptors
go after that.
did not go after the ball, as Jonesy notes. and Gobert picks it up amongst 3 Raptors, but now the Timberwolves turn the ball over as Barrett pushes down the floor and promptly turns it right back over as his pass looking for Grady Dick gets picked off and Minnesota gets it back. So both teams handling the ball like it's greased again to start the third quarter, as we're now up to 11 turnovers for the Raptors, 10 for Minnesota, with Toronto leading by 3.
That was just poor spacing by the Raptors. RJ was running the middle lane, Ochai running the far left lane. RJ's got to get into the right lane, so he's 2 lanes. He got the outside lanes filled.
Edwards playing with 4 fouls right now. A minute into the third quarter. Pulls up for a triple on the near side, and it rattles around and goes down for Anthony Edwards. Minute 15 gone by now, third quarter. We're tied at 54. Pirtle, far elbow extended, hands off to Barnes. Barnes gets to the free throw line, now backs up a little bit, lobs it to Pirtle. Dangerous pass, nowhere near Yak, and it's picked off.
Careless turnover. There's too many of those. Just too many loose possessions.
Minnesota with a chance now to grab the lead. Edwards straight away, backs up above the arc. He's got Pirtle in front of him. Crosses him up, gets into the paint, turns around, fires to a wide open Randall in the near corner. 3-ball, no good. Box out down low by Barnes on Gobert. Scotty comes away with it. Across center comes Barnes. Barnes spinning away now from McDaniels. Still in the dribble, getting into the paint. Nice pass that time to Jakob Pirtle, who scoops it up and in. Raptors lead by 2.
Really, really nice playmaking by Scotty Barnes there, handling the dribble really well.
2 minutes gone by, 2:05. Edwards 3-ball. Minnesota is good. Timberwolves lead by 1.
Well, Abaji got caught on the screen, and Anthony Edwards does not need a whole lot of room.
Barnes to Barrett, back to Barnes. He's going to take a 3-ball. That one too strong, no good, but Ochai got hands on it, deflected it to Grady Dick, who couldn't save it on the baseline, and it's taken away by Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Grady's been relatively quiet tonight, 5 points, 3 boards. Minnesota back the other way, down right at the rim. Missing was Edwards. Ball tipped around, though, into the hands of the Wolves and guided into the tin by Gobert, and Minnesota has now taken a 59-56 lead.
Well, Gobert had that ball on the rim. If you're the Raptors, you've got to root him out of there. That's how he's getting his points. That's how he's doing his damage.
9:19 to go, third quarter. 59-56 is the score. It's Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means...
What's up, basketball fans? Now's the time of the night for you to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. How far out around the world do we have Raptors fans, or the opposite team's fans, because the Raptors are really bad this year? But thank you for being here. Let us know. Put your country's flag emoji in the chat, or let us know your city and province in Canada, city and state in the United States, and all over the world. Let's get back to the basketball. Thank you for participating in the chat and letting us know where you're watching from. Now let's go, Raptors. Let's get a freaking W. Let's go.
Public auction this Friday and Saturday. On Friday, ATVs, travel trailers, and more. Then on Saturday, cars, trucks, SUVs, commercial and industrial equipment are up for auction.
1,700 going once.
Bid in person or online and preview the entire lineup Tuesday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Complimentary breakfast or lunch for all early bird registrants. It's the most exciting way to buy a vehicle. Visit NorthTorontoAuction.com.
So.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 9:19 to play, third quarter. Raptors went into the break with the lead, but they've quickly given it back here in the third quarter. Minnesota leading 59-56. Toronto still going, Jonesy, at a 54% clip. Minnesota shooting just 39%, but they have doubled up the Raptors in terms of free throw attempts. They have more than doubled the Raptors in free throw makes, and they've got a couple more triples as well. And that's another point that Chris Finch was making before the game. He was asked about, in today's era, today's day and age, with Boston averaging about 50 three-point attempts a game, what is considered good, bad, what even gets you into the conversation to be considered a three-point shooting team? And Chris Finch said, you're probably talking about 40. That's what you want to be taking roughly these days, is about 40 threes a game. Wow. Pirtle guides it into the tin on the alley-oop. Nice pass there in traffic from Ochai.
Well, good playmaking there by Ochai.
Gobert hands off on the perimeter to Edwards, still playing with those 4 fouls. At the far elbow, went right, spins back left, gets into lane, left-hand scoop, high off glass, bucket is good, plus the foul, and a three-point opportunity coming for Anthony Edwards.
I think you've got to crowd him. When he comes off a screen with the ball, he's got to see a team picture of the defense. You can't let him come clean and get into the lane.
So Edwards at the line.
He's got to go in this quarter.
His first free throw attempt, but he does have 8 points and counting in this quarter, make it 9. Had 5 at the break, already up to 14, which is tied for the game high. Barnes passes in traffic to a cutting Pirtle. Nice vision there from Scotty. Yak fouled at the tin, and Pirtle with 2 free throws coming as Toronto trails by 4.
Well, they got the foul on Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I actually thought it was on Gobert, who pushed him as he went by.
Gobert officially has yet to pick up a foul, as Jakob Poeltl steps up to the stripe. Missed earlier in the game, 0 for 2. His third attempt is clean. Raptors trail by 3. Poeltl getting set for that second free throw, dips, fires, and that one rolls off the rim. So now Poeltl 1 for 4 in the ball game at the free throw line. Raptors trailing by 3 as they get back defensively. Alexander Walker brings it across center for Minnesota. Gives it up to Edwards out on the far side. Crosses up Ochai. Now gets into the paint. Left-hand scoop. Rolls off the rim, glass and in. And he is certainly cooking now, folks. Well, 11 and counting.
He's getting into the paint. My thinking is you've got to crowd him. You've got to even throw a momentary double team at him and let it dissolve to keep him out of the paint.
And a travel on the other end will turn it over for Toronto. We're going back the other way. Minnesota now leading by 5, their largest lead of the game. Dangerous time here for the Raptors,
yeah,
Jonesy.
Really, really critical time. Perilous time for the Raptors.
Edwards with the ball in his hands, and why not? He's been magnificent this quarter. Goes up to Randall. Randall at the free throw line. Step back. Thought about the shot. Instead passes back out on the perimeter to Nickeil. Back to Randall. Randall now going to hoist a 3. Pirtle got out there, and Randall missed the shot. Barrett with the rebound. Across center he comes, trying to drive down Main Street. Hesitated for a moment, then put his head down, got to the 10 and laid it in. Nice change of speed.
Well, it was a slight hesitation, but it was the fact that he busted out and he had 2 or 3 Minnesota defenders behind him trying to chase him.
Edwards driving on the near side, gets to the elbow, turns, fires, misses. Nice box out down low by Pirtle on Gobert. Rudy was looking for a call, I don't know why. Near corner, Ochai in front of his own bench, missed it, and nobody underneath for Toronto. Randall brings it across center for Minnesota. 7:10 to play in the quarter. Randall now driving on the far side, cut off at the elbow. Gives it up to McDaniels. McDaniels pulls up and misses the shot, and the Raptors grab the rebound.
Chris Finch not happy with that shot.
Now Barnes on the near side. Gets by everybody, tried to go up and under on a reverse, and he was blocked by Gobert. Scotty wanted the call, didn't get it. Here comes Minnesota. Randall through traffic, hit by Grady Dick as he tried to extend both arms and scoop up and under. He's fouled, missed the shot. 2 free throws coming for Julius Randle.
Can't go with any low stuff when it comes to Rudy Gobert. You have to be going strong.
So Randall goes to the line, Jonesy, for attempts 11 and 12, which will be just 1 less than the entire Raptor team. Randall in the ball game with 14 points, adding 5 rebounds as the former Knick drops down the first one. Extends the Minnesota lead to 4 at 65-61. Scotty Barnes going to sit down. In his return to the lineup, he's played 16 minutes, 8 points, 5 assists, 1 rebound for Barnes. 6:46 to go now in the quarter as Randall hits the second free throw. And it extends the Minnesota lead back to 5, their largest of the game. Mitchell bounces a pass over on the near wing. Above the arc, it's Grady Dick. Covered by Nikhil, comes around a Pirtle screen, gets to the free throw line, pulls up. Jumper is clean for Grady Dick.
Nice job by Grady coming off the screen. Something I'm sure he's worked on in the gym a whole lot in this summer.
McDaniels out on the far side trying to get by Grady. Got to the tin, missed the shot, but it's cleaned up on a putback jam by Rudy Gobert.
I don't know if that was actually a missed shot or a kind of a lot. Either way, it worked out for them, but the penetration.
I thought it hit the rim, Jonesy, but maybe I was seeing things through all the traffic I was trying to call the game through, as Naz Reid was pretty much blocking my vision as he checks into the ball game along with DiVincenzo. Either way, Gobert is a menace above the rim. Interesting, Chris Finch before the ball game was asked about the potential of maybe one day European teams being invited into the NBA Cup. And he said if it were to happen, he was asked, would they play NBA rules or European rules, FIBA rules? Like, well, I don't know why you play FIBA rules if it's the NBA Cup, but he said, I would like to see NBA rules in FIBA, but FIBA rules in the NBA when it pertains to the ball being live on the rim.
That's the easiest one. I've said that all the time. It's just easy for the refs.
And now Grady Dick on the inbound pass turns the ball over.
He passed it into the hands of the man pressuring the ball, and then it came back to him, and he caught it out of bounds instead of getting out of the way.
Minnesota leading 68-63. Now a chance to grab their largest lead of the game with a 2 or a 3 right here. DiVincenzo over to Edwards on the wing near side. Mitchell's in front of him. Shot clock down to 5. Edwards now trying to get by Mitchell. Dribbles toward his bench. Pulled up for a triple contested. Great job by Davion Mitchell. Raptors get the rebound off the miss from Edwards. Pirtle looking to lob it in the lane to Ochai. Missed it, but gets it back. Finds Pirtle cutting to the tin. Steps around Gobert. Missed the scoop, but he's fouled, and he's going to the free throw line.
Really nice job by Abaji pursuing the ball after the miss and then being able to hunt down Pirtle. Mitchell's such a good individual defender. I like this move of him guarding Edwards, and you know, maybe Edwards tries to make it a little bit personal, takes on the challenge one-on-one. Now the offense slows down, guys stop moving, he tries to get into his bag, and it's 1-on-5 with the help.
And Pirtle goes to the stripe and takes care of business. Both free throws good. Raptors have cut the Minnesota lead to 3, and Chris Finch wants the timeout. With 5:28 to play in the third quarter, it's 68-65, Minnesota on top on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Can we really launch Black Friday deals early? As Sunwing's financial advisor, I say, hold my coconut. You actually did it. It's simple. People want more from their vacation, right? A Sunwing vacation does that. Why deny the people what they want? And with these Black Friday vacay deals, they'll be sipping a mojito by Tuesday.
Book with your local travel advisor or
Drug Mart's Black Friday Super Sale. Shop November 22nd to 29th and enjoy big savings on the products you love. Plus, open your PC Optimum app, shop your offer, scan, and earn 20,000 points. That's a $20 value. So whether you're shopping for the holidays or your favorites, you'll find really great deals throughout the store, especially since we've dropped prices on hundreds of everyday essentials. Head to Shoppers Drug Mart for the Black Friday Super Sale. Save big, leave happy. Conditions apply. Details in store.
Hey, Raptors fans, thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Raptors matchup. We really appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with us, enjoying yourselves while we tank for flag, because apparently that's what's going on. Thanks for hitting that like button and sharing this thing out so we can get more basketball fans here in the chat chanting, "We the North! We the North!" Let's go, Raptors. Let's get after it tonight, and thank you once again for being here. We'll see you guys back in the chat.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you at Scotiabank Arena. Thanks for tuning in on a Thursday evening as Toronto is battling Minnesota right now. 68-65 is the score. Minnesota on top. Raptors still going at a 54% clip, but it's been the free throws that have been a big issue right now. Minnesota 21 of 25. The Raptors 10 of 15. 11 more free throws made. And hopefully that's something that gets corrected or cleaned up as the game goes on. Speaking of 11 points in the quarter for Anthony Edwards. But Jonesy, those came in the first 4 minutes of the quarter. He has been held scoreless over the last 3 minutes and still on the floor playing with 4 fouls. He had 3 in the first half. His 4th picked up about 30-40 seconds into this second half. But he has stayed out there and stayed under control and not picked up that 5th.
Well, if you're Toronto, I mean, you go at them in a targeted way, but at the same time, you don't want to run yourself out of your own offense and the rhythm you've established.
Gobert spinning away from Pirtle, gets into the paint, throws it up with the left hand, missed it. They battle for the rebound, and I believe that went off Pirtle.
After the push in the back by Gobert, as Pirtle starts to talk to Sheree Mitchell.
Edwards inbounding to Naz Reid, fires a pass over on the far sideline. Triple, no good for McDaniels, but Gobert gets the rebound, beat Pirtle to it. Pinned underneath by 2 players, Minnesota on the perimeter now. It was Reid to DiVincenzo, skips in the lane, missed the shot. Guided back in the tin by McDaniels, and the size of the Wolves has been an issue tonight.
Well, it's their length. I mean, when you look at that front line now with Reid, McDaniels, and Gobert, it's a lot of length out there.
Raptors trailing by 5 again. It's 70-65. Grady Dick on the perimeter. Over on the near side, inside the arc. Near elbow extended, it's Pirtle. Pirtle out to Grady. Grady trying to shake free from DiVincenzo. Bounces it back to Pirtle. On the baseline, Yak has it. Now trying to work on Reid. Went left, spins back right, throws it up as he falls to the baseline. Missed the shot. Reid pushes ahead to Edwards. Edwards, cross court. Over to McDaniels. Lays it up and in. Minnesota by 7, their largest lead.
Well, they get out and run. Rebound allows them to get out and run, and Toronto didn't have the floor well balanced defensively.
4:10 to go in the third. Mitchell over on the left block to Jakob Pirtle, and he was just gobbled up by Rudy Gobert. A big-time stuff right back into Yak's face as Toronto gets back defensively. Edwards shake free from Ochai, got into lane, missed the short jumper from about 10 feet. Here come the Raptors. Boucher, far side. Ochai back to Boucher, leans in on Reid, and Reid takes the foul, sending Boucher to the free throw line.
A good strong take by Boucher. And it started with the rebound at the other end. Raptors being out rebounded right now, and Minnesota's taking advantage of that.
Chris Boucher heads to the free throw line for attempts 3 and 4 in the ball game. 1 for 2 in his first appearance. Knocks down the first one. Raptors trailing 72-66. Jonathan Mobo is going to come back into the ball game, and now Jamison Battle and RJ Barrett will come as well. We'll clean up the lineups on both sides as now McDaniel sits down. Edwards is still staying on the floor. Has played almost this entire quarter with 4 fouls.
Well, he's certainly earned the trust of Chris Finch.
Boucher gets the ball back wearing that white 25 on the back of the black City Connect jersey. Misses the second free throw. Raptors trailing by 6. 72-66, 3:45 to go in this third quarter. Dillingham up top to Gobert, above the arc. Now handing it off to Edwards out on the far wing. Toward the near side, gives it up to DiVincenzo with Battle in front of him. DiVincenzo fake the pass, sidestep, 3-ball up, no good. Raptors with the rebound.
Good D by Battle, good contain.
Battle gets down the floor. Got the pass from Boucher, but on his step back before driving to the tin, He stepped out of bounds. The toe caught the line, and it's a turnover again for the Raptors, their 15th of the game.
Again, those are the careless turnovers, the mistakes, just not knowing where you are, little things like that, and they come back to bite you.
The Raptors giving up 10 points off those 15 turnovers. It's their 5th of this quarter. Minnesota leading by 6 as Edwards gets in the lane down Main Street, missed one from point-blank range, and it rolls off the rim, off Minnesota, out of bounds. It's Toronto ball. Wow.
Rudy keeps saying review.
And luckily, Jonesy, for Minnesota, there was a player set to check in, which gave the Timberwolves extra time. The Raptors were not able to inbound right away, and so Chris Finch had that extra maybe 3-5 seconds to look at his coaches and say, should we? And they opt to, yes, indeed, take the challenge. Let's keep it here.
Well, Rudy Gobert was so adamant about challenging.
And now they're saying they're not challenging? Sure looked like they had made the signal, but maybe they didn't hit the blue light special.
Well, maybe it was just with 3:02 to go. Maybe it was just their turn.
I think
for
they
the
were
mandatory.
looking to initially challenge, but instead opted to just call the timeout
Yep.
and no challenge. Third quarter is brought to you by Enbridge Sustain with a smart flow heating and cooling system that's always thinking about you. You're the real MVP. Jonesy, the Brownies forced a turnover, a fumble for the Steelers. And with a 7-3 lead, Cleveland has the ball with 1:47 to play in the first half.
Playing the parade route for Super Bowl. That's okay if you're a Browns fan. The season rests on the 2 games against the Steelers. That's it.
Raptors trailing by 6, 72-66. Quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. At the half, Utah leading San Antonio by 16. And with 48 seconds to play, Detroit and Charlotte are tied at 107. Last game of the night comes up in just over an hour. Orlando in LA to face the Lakers. Raptors with the ball into the painted area comes Barrett. Tough pass in traffic to Mobo, but he catches it and softly finishes on a 2-hand flush. Across center comes Dillingham. Tried to cross up Boucher, now backs up toward the perimeter and passes cross court on the wing near side. It's Edwards. Edwards well above the arc, backing up all the way to center. Now trying to drive on Mitchell, and he's bumped by Davion. I don't know about that one. Wow. Davion Mitchell had his hands at his side, moved his feet, tried to cut off the path of Edwards. I think that's just a play on.
Yeah. Sometimes there's contact anticipated, but you got a guy like Mitchell who can move those feet. It doesn't happen.
Randall went left, came back right, passes out on the perimeter. 3-ball up, no good. Naz Reid couldn't come up with that one. And back the other way come the Raptors, trailing by 4. Underneath, Boucher with the hesitation, got hammered underneath. And they're going to call a kickball on Minnesota to give Toronto the possession, but not a foul as Boucher got smoked underneath and fell down in a heap. Got hit in the face by DiVincenzo's
left hand, got him right in the face.
Jeez. 72-68, Minnesota leading with 2:08 to go in the third quarter. So it's going to be 17 on the shot clock. Not the full 24 as the Raptors inbound from the far sideline. Scotty Barnes to Mobo. Mobo holding the ball above his head. Picked up by Randall. Now goes cross court over to Boucher. Wide open 3-ball. Chris Boucher left it short, but Mobo tracks it down and finds Boucher cutting to the tin. And he was looking for the one-hand cram. Got hammered underneath, and he promptly pops up and he'll head to the line. That would have been a massive poster if that went down. But Boucher's going to have to earn 2 at the stripe instead.
Raptors staying active. I give them that kind of credit as Boucher does a nice job, just kind of continuing to move and pursue the ball. Raptors really kind of hanging in here. They were at a critical point where things could have fallen apart for them. They've got this lead down to 3. And if he hits a free throw here, which he does, you can run back and set up your D.
Raptors have cut it to 2. 72-70. Randall had the ball knocked away from him on the perimeter, but Minnesota gets it back. Dillingham in the corner. McDaniels up fake, looking to drive, but he traveled, and the Raptors will get it on the 12th turnover of the game by Minnesota.
Great job by Mobile. Great, quick, active hands to knock the ball away and start Minnesota scrambling.
Barnes, near side to Mitchell. Barnes saying, wait, let's set it up. Barnes sets the screen. Mitchell getting by Dillingham into the paint, kicks out to Barrett. Open look on the triple is good. North side 3 has given Toronto the lead.
Some real great resilience here by Toronto, middle of this third quarter. Minnesota looking to blow it open. The Raptors put the brakes on it.
Toronto fell down by 7, come back to take a 1-point lead, and Minnesota just took it back on a 2-hand flush for Julius Randle. Across center comes Mitchell. Turning into the paint, he's tripped up, falls hard to the floor, and now Dillingham skips away from the fray with a bit of a limp as well, as he might have got hit hard in all of that commotion, as now Davion Mitchell is going to go to the free throw line. And he went down hard. He's coming away flexing that left arm, left shoulder.
I think Dillingham got their feet got tangled, and a little bit of a turn on the ankle, and then down went Mitchell on the fall.
First free throw up and in for Davion Mitchell. Jonesy, I said, let's see how things play out as the game goes on. The Raptors now up to 20 free throw attempts. Minnesota at 25, starting to find its watermark.
Yeah, you know, you kind of say to the ref, hey, so I guess they don't foul, huh? And starts to turn in your favor a little bit.
Free throw's good for Davion Mitchell. It pushes Toronto back on top by 1. Raptors in the midst of a 10-2 run to wipe out that 7-point Minnesota lead. McDaniels above the perimeter. Gives it up in the lane. Randall, as he tried to drive to the tin, he's fouled. And it's going to be 2 more free throws for Randall. It'll be attempts 13 and 14.
Yeah, he's had free throw attempts on lock. I mean, he puts his head down, and it's almost like there's no thought of passing the ball, you know? And for the people that, you know, see RJ's play as a revelation here in Toronto, well, he was playing with that guy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't always like to pass the ball. Not that he's not productive, but passing sometimes isn't always in the repertoire.
Well, he hits the first free throw. He's got 19 points. He's looking for 20 right here, and he hits it. 20 points, 5 rebounds, and, well, to the point you just made, 0 assists. The 2 free throws put Minnesota back on top by 1 with 25 seconds to play. Raptors have to give it up, about an 8-second differential, shot clock, game clock. Mitchell on the logo at center, milking the clock down. Now trying to drive on the near side, tried to get a step on Nikhil, goes over the far corner to Boucher, who weaves through traffic all the way from the perimeter to the tin with a 2-hand flush. 7 seconds to play. DiVincenzo held up by Barrett, but pulls back and rips a triple to put Minnesota on top by 2. 3 seconds to go. Mitchell across center. The heave is good if it goes, and it's no good. Raptors head to the fourth quarter trailing by 2.
Well, if you're Toronto, you're okay with that because you were down. Minnesota had their largest lead of the game at 7 with the ball, and you were teetering on the ropes. And it's a 1-possession game. You've kind of got your footing under you heading to the fourth quarter.
79-77 is the score. Minnesota leading Toronto. Fourth quarter action comes up next on Toronto Raptors basketball. Brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting...
What's up, Raptors fans? I just wanted to stop and say thank you for making this community awesome. Thank you for chatting it up. Let's take it back for a minute. Do you remember this shot?
It's off to Leonard, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
Had to take it back to the buzzer beater there from Kawhi Leonard in 2019 on that run that won Game 7 against the Sixers. Yeah, the diehard Raptors fans remember that shot very well. One of the best shots in basketball history. Thank you for hanging out with us and making this community what it is. Let's get back to the basketball. Let's go, Raptors. Let's get the W.
But new More Rewards still treats me like a star. I earn points on everything I love at Metro and Food Basics. More Rewards, made for everyone, even me, Jennifer Lopez. Join today and save.
At Terra, we know the Carbine work boot will hold up on the job site because we test until it doesn't. Terra, we know because we test. Visit terrafootwear.ca to see the proof.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, getting set for the fourth quarter, 12 minutes to play as the Raptors trail 79-77. Toronto still shooting 53% from the floor. Minnesota at 39%, but Jonesy, we've got a dogfight tonight.
Yeah, we do. Raptors doing a really good job right now.
Minnesota starts with the ball as they bring it across center.
Can't turn it over in this fourth quarter, though.
Toronto turned it over 5 times in the third quarter, and Minnesota just turned it over to start the fourth quarter. Alexander Walker's trying to say that ball was deflected by the Raptors, but none of the officials buying that. So Toronto gets the ball and a chance to tie or take the lead here on their first possession of this final frame. Mobo has it out towards center court, trying to get free from Randall. Gets into the painted area at the free throw line, looking to give it up. He's hounded right now. Somebody's got to come to the ball. He finally finds Boucher. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Far elbow. Fat Joe special on the lean back. Missed it. Picked up by Mobo. Turns, fires, and a little too strong as it went off glass, off rim, and bounded out. Missed from point blank range. DiVincenzo back from Minnesota in the lane. Looked to give it up, but he threw it away. He was looking for Randall. Picked off by Boucher to Barnes. Hammered as he was going to the tin. And Barnes is trying to say right now, listen, he pushed at me.
Yep.
He didn't make a play on the ball. He just hit me midair.
You got to look at that. Scotty was midair, almost defenseless. Good spacing here on the 2-on-1. Naz Reid came across, and the hands never got above Scotty's chest.
And I'll tell you, if it weren't for the fact that Scotty's 6'9" and has long legs, he could have fallen very awkwardly. He was lucky that he was able to gain his balance and come down without falling hard, let alone without coming down real bad on a knee or an ankle. So the officials are going to have a look. We're getting a look at the replay right now. And Jonesy, McDaniels makes a play on the ball, or tries to,
Naz
but
Reid
Reid
pushed
just
him in
shoves him.
His hands never got above Scotty's chest. That's
Right
not a
in the rib
basketball
cage.
play. Both hands. It's pretty easy right now.
11:10 to go here in this fourth quarter. We're less than a minute in. We're going to get the official word here from official Mark Lindsay in just a moment. He's trying to explain it. Now he's going to give it to the crowd.
The ruling on the floor is a defensive foul on Naz Reid. Replay will be utilized to see if it meets the criteria for a flagrant foul.
Mark Lindsay all business when he comes over. Very casual conversation with the scores table, but then as soon as that camera's on and the mic goes on,
it's a pretty easy look.
I think it should be.
I mean, This is one where when you dial up Secaucus, they'd say, flagrant, get back to playing. Like
McDaniels made a play on the ball. Naz Reid made no attempt on the ball.
There's too much discussion right now. Like what could they be talking about? In the present criteria of the NBA right now, like that's a no-brainer.
So, Jonesy, maybe it's going something like this. Hey, guys, you seeing that it's snowing in Cleveland right now? Is that headed your way in Secaucus, or could it be maybe coming towards Toronto? Trying to get to Soto tonight before we fly out tomorrow morning. All right, the headsets are off, and we'll see what Secaucus has to say. And what the three officials, Mark Lindsay, Jason Goldenberg, and Sheree Mitchell have to say. We await word. Here it comes.
After review, defender Reid extends two hands into the torso of the offensive player to an airborne player with the option for, to a vulnerable player with the potential for injury. As a result, the contact has been deemed unnecessary, and the call will be upgraded to a flagrant foul, penalty 1.
All right, flagrant foul, penalty 1. Julius Randle standing beside Mark Lindsay, just sort of shaking his head, doesn't like the call, but that's a no-brainer. Scotty Barnes heads to the strike.
I don't know what all the discussion's about.
Yep.
Like in today's NBA, we've seen far less than that called flagrant.
Yep. So Barnes taking care of business at the stripe. Game tied at 79, and the Raptors, after the flagrant, get possession of the ball as they inbound. Barrett to Mobo. Mobo straight away inside the arc, stops his dribble, now gives it up on the perimeter to Barrett. He turns the corner into the paint at the near elbow. He passes back out on the perimeter to Scotty. Looks up at the clock, still plenty of time. Shot clock at 12. Backs up towards center. Mobo comes up, sets a screen. Scotty lost it for a second, gets it back, drives into the paint, kicks it over near side. Chris Boucher, 3-ball, long looper. Missed everything but the backboard, and it ricocheted awkwardly right into the midst of R.J. Barrett, who bobbled it out of bounds. And the Raptors give it up to Minnesota. We're tied at 79. Minute 20 gone by here in the fourth quarter. DiVincenzo at center. Lobs the pass over to Randall. To Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Weaves through the paint into the near corner. McDaniels misses the three. Shed with the rebound. Pushes ahead to R.J. Barrett. He'll bring it up as he's hounded by McDaniels. And he's hit midcourt. A foul on McDaniels, his second.
Good job by R.J. to go at the pressure. Teach the young kids when they belly up on you like that, go by them with a move.
Shed. Far side. Saw a seam for a second. Now hands it off to Boucher, who gets into lane. High looper off glass, off rim. Missed the shot, but fouled by Naz Reid. And to the free throw line will be Chris Boucher. He has played well off the bench for the Raptors, very well. 16 points in 20 minutes. And Jonesy, he has been among the most aggressive Raptors in terms of trying to get to the rim.
Well, aggressive and pretty efficient in a sense. I know he's only 5 of 11, but maybe I should rephrase that. Controlled, letting the game kind of come to him. And that's something that wasn't always the case with Chris, but he's matured into that role this year.
So Boucher at the stripe goes 1 of 2. 80-79, Raptors take a 1-point lead, and we've got a foul on Mobo away from the ball, called for the hook as he was trying to hold up Julius Randle fighting through a screen. So Minnesota will inbound from the near side. Nickeil throws it in to McDaniels. There's a big-time battle going on right now with Randle and Mobo. They are banging bodies. Randle tries to drive on the near baseline. Now drives into the painted area, passes out on the perimeter. DiVincenzo, catch, shoot, bucket. 3 ball for Dante DiVincenzo. Minnesota leads by 2. Barrett looks up at the 10 out on the far sideline. Now puts it on the floor, drives into the painted area and scoops it up with a left hand on the left side.
Really nice job by R.J. Barrett. Really nice job.
We're tied at 82.
He's got to be aware of DiVincenzo on the catch and shoot. Can't leave him. Can't help off him.
Barrett has a game-high 21. Randall into the lane, met by 2 defenders. Mobo stayed with him. The help came from Barnes, and they're going to call the foul on Mobo.
I thought Mobo did I thought he had the ball.
It's going to be his 4th. As Randall goes back to the line for attempts 15 and 16. Ochai Agbaji, Jakob Poeltl, Grady Dick all getting set to check in for the Raptors. As Randall knocks down the first free throw. Jamal Shedd's going to come out, as will Scotty Barnes and Jonathan Mobo. 9:27 to go in the ball game as Minnesota jumps on top by 1, 83-82. Barnes in his return to the lineup. We were told that he would be under a minute restriction, but we weren't given what that minute restriction was. He's played 22 minutes, 10 points, 6 assists, 1 rebound for Scotty. As Randall, second free throw, too strong back rim, but it's tipped in traffic by Minnesota into the hands of Poeltl. Raptors secure it, come down the floor, trailing by 1. Driving far side, R.J. Barrett, one-man wrecking crew all the way to the tin to lay it in and put Toronto up by 1.
Well, Minnesota, nobody chose to stop the ball, and R.J. just kept going.
McDaniels bounces it to Randall, gets by Boucher, and they're going to call a foul on Chris. Probably not a bad foul. That should be a side out, and it is. That would have been a surefire bucket for Randall, so not a bad play there by Chris Boucher. Unfortunately, though, it is Chris's 4th foul, so now you got to start watching that. He's got 17 off the bench. They want to use him as long and as often as they can. Anthony Edwards, near side, steps back over Barrett, buries the 3. Anthony Edwards. He's got 19 in the ball game, including 4 of 6 from distance.
That was a tough shot. RJ was right on him.
RJ back for the Raptors, spinning into the lane, missing the scoop, but he's fouled. And back to the free throw line for RJ Barrett. 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists for RJ on a blistering 9 of 12 from the floor and a perfect 4 of 4 at the free throw line. First free throw up and in. RJ came into this ball game shooting 70% from the free throw line, 69.7 to be exact. As Barrett takes a deep breath, second free throw up and clean, a perfect 6 of 6 from the stripe tonight. So he'll be above 70 by the time everything's said and done.
On that collision with Davion Mitchell, Rob Dillingham sprained his right ankle, and he's out for the rest of the game.
All right. So one less weapon for the Timberwolves as the Raptors and Timberwolves are tied at 86. Randall into the lane, sucks in 3 defenders, kicks to Edwards, wide open, near corner. Raptors dodge a big-time bullet there. Barrett brings it up across center on the near side. He's calling for Ochai, gives it to him. Now finds Jakob Poeltl on the perimeter. Back to RJ. RJ below the near elbow. On a switch, he's picked up by Gobert, weaves through traffic into the lane, high off glass, missed it, put back into the tin by Jakob Poeltl.
Smart play by RJ. He knew he had 2 guys.
Get it up off glass, right?
Just get it up there somewhere, and I got a big guy who's got nobody on him.
Edwards down Main Street to the tin. The scoop is now Grady Dick back. He's hounded in the backcourt. Now Grady Dick back. He's hounded in the backcourt, slows things down and gives it up to RJ Barrett. Ochai, far wing. Now driving toward the left block. Cut off on the baseline. Gives it up to Poeltl at the elbow. Back to Ochai. The floater off glass. left block. Cut off on the baseline, gives it up to Pirtle at the elbow. Back to Ochai. The floater off glass, too strong.
Fans of fans who are invested in the game. Like Gary, who lies with reckless abandon every time he's invited out on game night, so he doesn't have to miss game night. Sorry, it's mating season for my pet squid. My e-scooter is out of gas. I ate a beanless burrito. My shoulder blade feels dull. I'm traveling to the 16th century. That's how Gary fans, and we're fans of Gary. This is how we fan. Tangerine, the official bank of the Toronto Raptors.
Fall for Subaru by enjoying fall to the fullest. Think scarlet, burgundy, amber, crimson and copper, but never, never blue. Because with Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall is for thick, dark mud splats, terracotta mountain roads, radiant sunsets, kaleidoscopic leaf carpets, and the boldest of adventures. Avoid autumn blues and visit your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
How do you, Subway holiday lover?
I'm dreaming of a turkey sub.
Well, hold on to your chestnuts for Subway's new festive faves meal. A 6-inch turkey sub with cranberry Dijon, crispy potato rings, and 2 red velvet cookies.
Ooh, jingle my bells.
No thank you, but all this delicious and fixins for just $8.99.
Yum. Maybe some sugar plums.
No idea what that is. The new festive faves meal. A merry $8.99. Only at Subway. At participating Canadian restaurants. Extras additional. Terms and conditions apply.
By the fireplace.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. 90-88, Minnesota leading by 2 with 7:30 to play in the ball game. It's been yet another entertaining game as Toronto is continuing to battle. We talked about this, Jonesy, very early on, how Chris Finch mentioned this Raptor squad known for their tenacity, known for their edge, known for not quitting. Don't look at the 3-12. They're better than the record indicates, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that's playing out right now. Toronto trailing by 2 with 7:30 to play, and certainly a winnable ball game from a Raptors perspective.
Yeah, it sure is. And you keep putting yourself in these positions to win these close games. Eventually you're going to get some, but the key is learning what to do, learning how to win these close games.
Mitchell above the arc. The Pirtle back to Mitchell, now turning the corner on the far side. At the far elbow, a little stop and go. And a push-off, I believe, on Davion Mitchell is going to wipe out the possession. Yep.
When you turn the corner, if you're Davion, keep going. Get to the big guy, make him come up, and then that'll free your big guy.
Raptors down 2, 7 minutes to play. Bunny hop in the lane by Edwards, passes far corner to McDaniels, sidesteps a 3-ball and buries it. He's played very well tonight. He's got 20 points, and Minnesota extends their lead to 5. Time to punch back now if you're the Raptors. Grady Dick turns, fires, north side 3, no good. Long rebound comes out to Pirtle, though. Finds Mitchell on the perimeter. Mitchell around a screen set by Pirtle. Bounce pass along the baseline to a cutting Boucher. Dunks it down. Great execution.
Well, Boucher saw his defender turn his head. Kids, when you're playing and you see that guy take his eyes off you, that's your cue to get moving.
Edwards to Randall. 3-ball, too strong. Rebound to Boucher out on the right block. Quick trigger there from Minnesota as Grady Dick finds Jakob Pirtle back to a cutting Grady, who scoops it up and in, almost on a reverse over his shoulder, and the Raptors have cut it to 1.
Nice job, guys moving without the ball. Jakob, so good with the delivery.
Pirtle again with a double-double tonight, 13 and 11, and just had his second assist right there. Raptors down by 1. McDaniels into the lane, kind of faked the pass, then treaded air and floated it in.
He is one of the underrated players on this team.
Ochai back along the baseline far side, was blocked by Edwards, tried to keep it alive on the baseline, couldn't, and it's going to be Minnesota ball. Tough break there for Ochai, Jonesy. Not only was Edwards right with him, but Minnesota converged on him, and he was seeing at least 3 white jerseys.
And that's where I think Anthony Edwards is underrated. You know, all these guys that they talk about for MVP, Jokic, Doncic, they can't do that. Move their feet and swallow a guy up.
Randall into the near corner. McDaniels, another three, missed badly on this one. Ball deflected out toward the far side, picked up by Mitchell. Mitchell was thinking about Boucher, but instead gives it up to Barnes. Scotty skips into the paint, turns around, finds Boucher. In front of his own bench, buries it, and ties the game at 95.
Great decision by Davion Mitchell. Those are the ones that get you in trouble. He waited, and they eventually got Boucher the three.
Edwards answering back, no. Missing a triple on the far sideline, near sideline, but picked up by McDaniels. Second chance time now for Minnesota. Far wing, it's Randall. Looks up at the shot clock, it's down to 5. Trying to go at Jakob Poeltl, and we've got three seconds.
Rudy Gobert, he was in there.
He was camped.
Scotty Barnes was jumping up and down, pointing to him. He had a mismatch. He thought he was going to get the ball.
$95 apiece with 4:48 to play. Toronto and Minnesota locked into a battle right here as Rudy Gobert fouls Scotty Barnes, and that's team foul number 5, which will send Barnes to the free throw line for attempts 3 and 4. So an opportunity right here for Toronto to go up by 1 or 2 as Barnes lifts the glasses up onto the forehead and knocks down the first free throw. In the return to the lineup, 11 points, 6 assists, and a rebound.
Free throws leveling out, right, Eric? You talked about it.
This will bring Toronto even right now, 29 apiece, as Scotty makes good, and Toronto has taken a 2-point lead with 4:48 to play.
Well, here you are again, another close game coming down the stretch. Show me what you've learned in terms of winning these things.
Barnes now guarding Edwards. Edwards out on the far wing on a switch, now picked up by Boucher. Finds McDaniels, whips it over to DiVincenzo in the near corner. Mitchell got out on that one and might have got a piece. Either way, DiVincenzo missed it. Toronto pushes ahead. Mitchell has it on the near wing. Finds Barnes. Barnes up top to Mitchell. Good look at a north side three. No good. Gobert with the rebound. Great look for Davion. Toronto tonight 7 of 22 from distance. Minnesota trailing by 2 as they work it around to Randall. Driving into the paint, leaning in on Barnes. Tried to find Gobert, and Rudy missed it as Minnesota turns it over for a 15th time. They've given up 19 points off those turnovers. Can Toronto get more right here? Barnes in the paint toward the left block. Turns, spins, fires. Got the friendly roll as it hit the rim, crawled over, and Toronto goes up 4 with 3:49 to play.
Big shot by Scotty. He was one of the guys that was absent when they had all those close losses. Toronto 1-7 in games decided by 2 possessions or less. Right now, they're showing me what they've learned, but still a long way home.
We'll step aside for the break with 3:49 to play. The Raptors leading 99-95 on Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Hey, Raptor fans, what would you rather have? More money or more vacation? Whichever you pick, it's a win-win. Just like hitting the 50-50 jackpot. When you buy tickets to the MLSE Foundation Lottery, you support kids and youth in communities across Ontario. Last season, over $1 million in jackpot prizes were won. That means more money and more vacation. Talk about a true win-win? Visit 5050raps.com for your tickets today.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting.
What's up, basketball fans? Now's the time of the night for you to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. How far out around the world do we have Raptors fans, or the opposite team's fans, because the Raptors are really bad this year? But thank you for being here. Let us know. Put your country's flag emoji in the chat, or let us know your city and province in Canada, city and state in the United States, and all over the world. Let's get back to the basketball. Thank you for participating in the chat and letting us know where you're watching from. Now let's go Raptors. Let's get a freaking W. Let's go.
Craig also cares about his carbon footprint. He's so thoughtful, that Craig.
With SmartFlow from Enbridge Sustain, you won't have to think about your HVAC, but it will always be thinking of you. For a limited time, sign up and get up to $1,000 in bill credits and apply for up to $3,000 in rebates. Learn more at EnbridgeSustainSmartFlow.com. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, 3:49 to play. Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. Thanks for tuning in on the Sportsnet Radio Network on a Thursday evening. The Raptors have a 4-point lead with under 4 minutes to go. In the City Connect jerseys, Toronto, with that inspiration from Vince Carter, Jonesy. Vince actually tweeted out a picture of the court saying that he's still in disbelief at what he's seeing. And hopefully Raptor fans in attendance are seeing a victory. Still a lot of time to go as Toronto looks to close this one out. Minnesota with the ball out of the timeout. DiVincenzo inbounds to Anthony Edwards, who will bring it up across center for the Timberwolves. 21 points tonight for Ant. Minnesota with 3 players going for 20-plus, including McDaniels and Randall. And now we've got a little ticky-tack foul.
And Scotty's saying he's leaning on me and pushing off. Like what am I supposed to do? Well, I offer resistance and you call me for the foul.
He's out there trying to battle against Randall as DiVincenzo inbounds to Edwards. That was team foul number 4. Next one sends Minnesota to the line. Randall to DiVincenzo. Traveled but gave up the ball anyways as he lost the handle. Barrett ahead to Barnes. Barnes down the floor. 2-hand flush is good. Raptors lead by 6. Randall across center. Darko trying to yell at the official saying, look at him using that off arm to extend. Now Pirtle hacked Gobert underneath, and Rudy's going to the stripe.
That's okay. It's a good foul.
Yep.
Make him earn it at the stripe or else it's a dunk. I just thought the Raptors did a nice job. Great hit-ahead pass by RJ to an open Scotty for the dunk on the last play. And it comes off good defense and turnover number 15 for Minnesota.
Gobert flicks his wrist on the first free throw and knocks it down. Minnesota trailing 101-96. Raptors with the 5-point lead. Gobert's going to try and make it 4. And he missed his first miss of the night. 5 of 6 at the stripe, but a big one right there with Toronto holding on to a 5-point lead. Davion Mitchell brings it across center. Guarded by Edwards. Mitchell passes to Barnes. Barnes dips behind a screen set by Yak. Steps into a 3-ball, missed badly. Cleaned up underneath by Pirtle. And what a job, Jonesy. Yak set the screen out on the perimeter and dove immediately to the hoop and was there to rebound the miss from Barnes.
Well, the hard roll is what draws the defenders. That hard roll has guys pinching from the corner, leave their man just to be aware. And it also that time put Pirtle in rebounding position.
Yak, first free throw, up and clean. Pirtle tonight with 14 points and 12 rebounds. He's 4 of 7 at the stripe. Pirtle looking to give the Raptors their largest lead of the game as the second free throw is in. 7-point advantage is indeed Toronto's biggest all night. In fact, it's the biggest of the ball game as Cleveland once led by 7 as well. Grady Dick trying to cut off DiVincenzo, falls down, and now Barnes gets over to pick up DiVincenzo. Grady trying to stay on Randall, who goes cross-court to McDaniels, deflected by Barrett. McDaniels missed the dunk as he drove to the 10. Grady comes away with the ball. Across center, down Main Street, lobs it to a cutting Barrett, who flushes it down. How about the connection there? Kansas to Duke, and Toronto leads by 9.
The key was Grady at the other end. When he got the rebound, he was triple teamed. And rather than panic, he turned and dribbled through the pressure. Now you got 3 guys behind you, and he did classic 3-man, 3-on-2 basketball. Get the ball in the middle lane and have the other guys run it. Classic fast break basketball for Toronto.
2:31 to go in the ball game. The Raptors have extended the lead to 9, Jonesy. Their largest lead of the game, largest lead for either team. And we will keep it here. RJ Barrett with 27 points tonight on 10 of 14 shooting, including 8 rebounds and 3 assists. And we wondered, both on and off air, what this team might look like when Scotty Barnes returns, because RJ Barrett has had to carry a lot of the load in the absence of Scotty. And Jonesy, It's only one game, but they've looked pretty good tonight with Barnes playing 25 minutes, 16 points, 6 assists, essentially manning the point for the Raptors tonight. And he and Barrett have played very well together. The Raptor offense overall has been very balanced, shooting 52% overall.
Yeah. All you need is one guy back, right? Just takes the load off a little bit, share it a little bit. RJ still with 3 assists tonight.
Minnesota out of the timeout. They find Randall up top. He goes over onto the far side to McDaniels, back to Randall. Randall now inside the arc, trying to get away from Mitchell. Davion holding his ground. Randall into the paint. He leaned back and caught Davion Mitchell with either an elbow or a shoulder. Either way, Mitchell right now is checking chicklets, checking to see if he's bleeding, as Minnesota got the bucket by Gobert. A dunk from right under the tin. Cuts the Raptor lead to 7. Barrett, far side driving, fouled, and he's going back to the free throw line.
Well, he turned the corner and got a step on Randall. Going downhill, RJ, full head of steam. And again, Gobert comes over to try and block the shot. And even if RJ's shot doesn't go down, once you get the penetration, it compromises the defense and really wounds the rebounding. That's the collateral fallout from the penetration.
Barrett knocks down the first free throw. Raptors lead 106-98. Second free throw rattles around and pops out, his first miss of the night. Barrett at the stripe, 7 of 8. Raptors leading by 8. 1:47 to go. Edwards, 3-ball straight away, busted. Big one there for Anthony Edwards. Cuts the Raptor lead to 5 with 1:40 to play.
He's a gamer. He is a gamer.
Mitchell trying to get free from Edwards out on the far side. Now hands off to Barrett. Barrett to Barnes out on the wing far side. Shot clock down to 10. Barnes backs up towards center. McDaniels in front of him. Pirtle sets a screen. Scotty still has it. Crosses up McDaniels. Into the paint. Stops. Floats one up. Missed. Left it short. Minnesota with the rebound.
Looked like he was thinking about passing that one, Scotty.
McDaniels to Edwards on the perimeter near side. Spinning away from Mitchell. Gets into the paint. Fires out to DiVincenzo, far sideline. 3-ball, no good. Raptors dodged that one as Dante was wide open.
Had a good catch and shoot and a great block out by Pirtle to keep Gobert off the glass.
Ticking under a minute to play. 106-101, Raptors leading by 5. RJ, straight away, picked up by his former Knick teammate Dante DiVincenzo, spins into the paint, shot clock down to 1. He lets it go, off glass, off rim, fouled, and to the free throw line will go RJ Barrett.
Well, good job not to panic there. DiVincenzo picked him up, said, okay, we're gonna push this, see what you have. And RJ did a nice job protecting the ball, getting into the lane. And now he'll have free throws.
Leading by 5 with 46.7 seconds to play. Takes a deep breath, fires the first free throw clean. Barrett now up to 29 points in the ballgame. Make it 30 as he drops down the second free throw. Edwards, again trying to get free from Mitchell, gets into the paint, and as he was kind of fading toward the far side, they call a foul on Davion Mitchell. Man, oh man, I don't know about that.
Well, Edwards so difficult.
I believe we've got an infection control rule being called right here, as Julius Randle is bleeding on the right wrist somewhere. That might give the Raptors a chance to look at the replay a little bit longer, Jonesy, because Davion Mitchell was immediately saying review, review, review. And now Darko is talking to his coaches, wanting to know if that's one that they should have a look at or not. You think this is worth the roll of the dice? You're up by 7. There's only 38.6 seconds to play. You've still got 2 timeouts. You'd have 1 even if you lose this.
Well, now that you've had a chance to look at it.
I mean, if they don't, I would say that means they're pretty confident that it wouldn't get overturned.
Yeah.
Raptors leading 108-101. Davion Mitchell now chatting with Mark Lindsay, trying to get in a few words, as he obviously didn't agree with that last foul call. Still in a full conversation as Anthony Edwards heads to the stripe. He's got 24 points. 19 of those 24 coming in the second half, make it 20. And both of them are good. It cuts the Raptor lead to 5 as they inbound the ball and push ahead out of the pressure. They get it ahead to Grady Dick out on the wing far side. Passes it over in the far corner to R.J. Barrett. He is finally fouled by McDaniels. Raptors worked roughly 7 seconds off the clock. It's down to 32.1 seconds. Just got to make free throws now. Scotty looks at R.J. and points to his head and just says, kind of think about it, lock in. And R.J.'s certainly been doing that tonight, Jonesy. 9 of 10 at the stripe. First one up and in for R.J. Barrett.
It's a 2-possession game. This is a big one.
Second free throw rattles out. 10 of 12 at the stripe for RJ. Raptors leading by 6, and Randall goes down the floor in a hurry. Goes right to the tin, gets the bucket. Barnes inbounds to Grady Dick, who loses the handle, turns it over. Anthony Edwards has it straight away. Elevates over Pirtle, contested 3, missed it off the front of the rim, and Grady grabs the rebound.
Keep away, play keep away.
Grady gets it to Barnes, and Scotty is fouled, nearly lost the handle and gave it up, but he's fouled, and Naz Reid goes down in a heap, and he's holding onto his left knee.
I thought Scotty fumbled that and
so did I.
Was going to turn it over. Raptors do get the call, though.
Jonesy, I'm just having a look here, because I thought that the numbers stood out in my brain, and for once my brain isn't lying to me. How about home games, recent home games for R.J. Barrett? He's got 31 tonight. He had 39 over Indiana. Prior to that, 22. But then before the 5-game road trip, when the Raptors had that 2-game homestand, right, with the Lakers and the Kings, R.J. Barrett scored 33 and 31. So in 4 of his last 5 home games, he's gone for 30+. Naz Reid is still down on the floor.
That's
looking
including
at his left
tonight.
knee. Yeah, including tonight. And now getting up gingerly is Naz Reid. It looks to be the left knee. Not entirely sure what happened when he was in there in the mix trying to battle for the ball with Scotty Barnes. He is walking relatively gingerly towards the Minnesota bench. Toronto fans showing their class by clapping for Naz Reid as he makes the slow walk over towards his bench. 11.4 seconds to play. Raptors leading 109-105, and Scotty Barnes will have a couple of free throws coming. We're getting a look at the replay right now. And when Reid was battling for the ball and Scotty kind of leaned forward to try and get the loose ball, he sort of inadvertently, obviously not intentionally, ran into the knee of Naz Reid, and it kind of buckled backwards. So hopefully Naz Reid is okay. He's getting up off the bench and trying to flex it out and walk it out right now.
Looked like a hyperextend. That's kind of the classic case where when he rolls up onto your knee and it kind of bends backwards.
So if you hit both, you ice the game. If you hit at least one, it's probably over. First one is down as Toronto leads 110-105. Second free throw is no good. Randall comes across center. Great job there by Pirtle to knock the ball away briefly. Game clock down to 4, and Minnesota turned it over. RJ comes away with it with Scotty Barnes, and that will do it. The Toronto Raptors get the victory, 110-105. They entered the fourth quarter trailing. It's a comeback victory for the hometown Raptors.
Well, they showed me something. They showed what they learned. It helped having Scotty Barnes on the floor to help you close things out, but nice job by Toronto, really coming down the stretch. Maintain their poise and their calm. Fourth quarter had usually been littered with turnovers by the Raptors. This fourth quarter, 2 turnovers. That's it.
As Chris Boucher joins us courtside, 22 points in 26 minutes off the bench, brought the energy tonight. Chris, we appreciate the time. What was the key in the fourth quarter, especially the energy from you, from everybody in this comeback victory?
I mean, obviously we started a little bit slow, myself included. I think I got to be on my first drive, so we wanted to build more energy. Coach took a timeout and told us to emphasize on the energy, and we played them before, and they're a competitive team, so we have to bring more energy.
What difference does it make besides the obvious, Chris, to have Scotty back in terms of a decision maker, a ball handler, a guy who can get you into stuff, and because that's you on the other end, a guy who can help you defensively.
Yeah, I mean, a bigger body, he sees everything. Like I said, all-star player, he does everything, pass, score, plays defense, bring the energy. How can you not want to play with somebody like that? And if you do it with the right thing, which is cutting or space out, he'll find you, and that gives you a lot of confidence to his teammates.
Chris, I think I know the answer. I'm going to ask it anyways. Before the game, Chris Finch said of the Raptors, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said they've already got an MO of playing hard, of battling you to the end. They're not a 3-12 team. They're better than the record. Do you guys feel that same way? You're now 4-12 in terms of who you are?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in our head, we, a lot of games that we lost, we learned from it, but we don't feel like we would have lost if we put more energy. So when we finish 4 quarters, we play 4 quarters in a row, I think, we could beat a lot of teams.
Chris, you've been terrific this year. Talk to us about what it is you're focusing on, because your game has really stepped forward.
Everything that I've worked on this summer, how to become a better player, how to be, somebody that can help my teammates be at the right spot and not be one-dimensional. I think that, corner threes is good and all, but now they're reading it a little bit more, so I got to put the ball down and make the right plays. Obviously, I got a lot of good teammates on this team, so it helps to be able to make plays for them.
Thanks for joining us.
Great job,
Congrats
Chris.
on the win.
Great job.
There is Chris Boucher of the Raptors, again off the bench. 22 points in 26 minutes, adding 4 rebounds and helping the Raptors to the 110-105 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Great job by the Raptors. And, they showed me what they learned. And the biggest thing was not turning it over key times. Only 2 turnovers in that fourth quarter. So give Toronto a whole lot of credit closing this thing out. And like I said, makes a big difference to have a guy like Scotty Barnes back in your lineup to help out.
We'll step aside for the break, come back with final stats, and then get set for post-game coverage with Daniele Franceschi as the Raptors beat the Timberwolves by 5 on Toronto Raptors basketball. Brought to you by Tangerine Bank on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
The best Black Friday sale ever is on now at 2001 Audio Video. All streaming audio, all home audio, and all 4K smart TVs, including 2-year warranty, are all on sale at the guaranteed lowest Black Friday prices anywhere with a 60 days price guarantee. 2001, your home entertainment experts since 1971.
2001 Audio and Video. 2001.
At St. Louis Bar and Grill, we're here for you no matter what. In the mood for Detroit-style pizza? We just added 4 of them to the menu. Still hungry? Add a pound of our famous wings and fries for just $5 more. Had a scary dream and need to talk about it at 3 a.m.? Call the restaurant. No one will be there to answer the phone, but you're certainly welcome to call. For a limited time, get a $5 pound of wings when you try our new pizzas. Plus, you can add a select 20-ounce Molson Draft for just $6.99. Dine-in only, taxes extra. St. Louis Bar and Grill. You are welcome.
If it's a flat or a squeal, a wobble or peel, your tread's worn down or you need a new wheel, wherever you go, you can get a pro at Tread Experts.
The new Michelin Defender 2 tire is designed to outlast. With a quiet and comfortable ride, you'll have the confidence you need on the roads, whether they're wet or dry. Find a Michelin Tread Experts dealer near you at treadexperts.ca/locations.
From tires to auto repair, we're always there. TreadExperts.ca.
100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 1
This is Toronto Raptors basketball on Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Back at Scotiabank Arena, Eric Smith, Paul Jones with you. RJ Barrett tonight leading the Raptors to victory, 110-105 over the Timberwolves. Barrett with 31 points in the ballgame, adding 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Double-double for Jakob Poeltl with 15 and 12 points and rebounds. Scotty Barnes returning to the lineup tonight with the glasses, not the mask. 17 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. And off the bench, the man that just joined us, Chris Boucher, 22 points. On the other side, Rudy Gobert had the double-double, 13 points, 11 rebounds. After a slow start, Anthony Edwards finished with a team-high 26 points. McDaniels had 22, Randall with 23. But the Raptors, Jonesy, shooting 51% as a team, get the victory.
That's going to drive Chris Finch absolutely crazy because they had 3 days of practice. They were the number 1 team in defensive rating last year, and they allowed the Raptors to shoot 51% and play to their strength. Toronto, their bench outscores Minnesota's bench. When you think about points in the paint, Raptors do a great job with that. Can't be something that Chris Finch is going to be happy about.
So Toronto, Jonesy, improves their record to 4-12. Still a lot of work to do if they try to climb that hill, but hey, these are the wins you got to get. You got to start stockpiling a little bit, and it's a great way for Toronto to end this homestand as they now get set to head on the road for the better part of the next week.
Yeah, see if they can get a good feeling at least and kind of cobble some wins together. Yeah, it was a good win tonight over a good team, but they've had a couple days of practice. They're starting to get healthy. You can only imagine how much better, or hope how much better it's going to be when you get all of your rotation players back.
So it's back-to-back wins for the Raptors for the first time this season as they beat Indiana on Monday and now take care of business against the Timberwolves on this evening here on this Thursday night. And as I mentioned, that road trip that's coming up, it's a 4-gamer which begins on Sunday against Cleveland. Then they go to Detroit on the back-to-back on Monday and close out the trip next week on Wednesday, Friday at New Orleans, at Miami. That first game of the 4-game trip, again on Sunday against Cleveland, will be right here on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Thanks to our producer back at Raptor Central, Austin Mackey, and down here at Scotiabank Arena, our producer and engineer, J.R. Manitat. Daniele Franceschi is coming up next with post-game coverage. For Paul Jones, I'm Eric Smith. Thanks for tuning in to Toronto Raptors basketball, brought to you by Tangerine Bank. This is how we fan. Tangerine, official bank of the Toronto Raptors, right here on the Sportsnet Radio Network, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca.
Well. It's officially a winning streak, folks. It is. It counts. It's a winning streak. The first time this season that the Toronto Raptors have picked up consecutive victories. That's right. They're 4-12 now after defeating the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight, 110-105, right here at Scotiabank Arena. It is their first official winning streak of the 2024-25 season. Hello, everybody, and welcome into our Raptors post-game show. I am your host, Daniele Franceschi. Text line is open, 590-590. Please include your name and location. Standard message and data rates do indeed apply. I have a question for everybody. Before we dive into particulars about this game, here's a question that I'm sure has been discussed throughout the first 3-4 weeks of this regular season schedule for the Raptors. Heck, I even had a conversation with Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert before the game on Fan Pregame where we talked about the quote-unquote ethical tank. But as a Raptors fan, knowing what we know about the state of the team, the state of the roster, do you want to see this team win games? I'm genuinely curious where people fall on that subject. 590-590. Please include your name and location. Standard message and data rates apply. All comments are welcome. Certainly hope to include your feedback as part of our show here tonight. We'll hear from Raptors head coach Darko Rajakovic when he does indeed step foot to the podium tonight and speak with the media after what is his team's 4th victory of the season. Big night for R.J. Barrett. 31 points on 10 of 14 shooting, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Noteworthy, not just because he's playing well and has been for some time now, but noteworthy because this performance comes with Scotty Barnes back in the fold. Of course, tonight, Barnes making his return to the lineup was on a minutes restriction after sitting 11 games due to that right orbital bone fracture. You saw Scotty, for those of you that watched the game, the television broadcast, or were in attendance here tonight, Barnes was indeed sporting protective goggles, although they kind of look more like glasses, to be honest. Didn't have, I don't even think it had the full on look of a regular goggles that I certainly was anticipating we would see. He was color coordinated, I will say, rocking the red, and of course, to pay respect to the Raptors and their colors. It was just a great night here at Scotiabank Arena. The court looks fantastic. Obviously, you have the Vince Carter themed court design tonight, which, by the way, from what I understand, wasn't something that was in the plans initially this season. There were certainly intentions to honor in various other capacities and celebrate the 30th anniversary season. There were plans, of course, to have the NBA Cup court, which is purple infused and themed. But this design, which has now become so beloved, so much so that even Vince Carter tonight decided, hey, I'm going to snap a picture of me watching this game on television and post it on my social media platforms because it's such an honor and a privilege and a surreal moment. It is now this beloved thing, and we almost didn't have it happen. So kudos to the Game Ops crew here at Scotiabank Arena. A really, really cool addition and feature tonight with this court being unveiled. We'll see it a few more times throughout the season. We'll see the City Edition uniforms, of course, being worn as well throughout the year, tonight being the debut of those. But RJ Barrett, the lead story tonight with how he performed, particularly in the second half, it's his fifth 30-point game of the season. Truly remarkable. And please bear in mind as well, he missed the first handful of games due to injury, didn't play throughout most of the preseason after getting hurt in the preseason opener in Montreal. Hasn't missed a beat. He's been sensational down the stretch, making big plays tonight, doing tons of damage at the free throw line. And that is a testament to being aggressive, playing with a lot of assertiveness, and really, despite having Scotty Barnes eat into a bit of that workload, it didn't affect RJ Barrett one bit, and he was able to be the same version of RJ Barrett that we have seen during this recent hot streak from him with the playmaking and certainly the three-level scoring ability. And tonight, you throw in the efficiency at the charity stripe. Really, really strong performance from him. Let me give you a stat that is truly mind-blowing. At the half, when you and I spoke at halftime, Raptors holding on to a narrow, slim one-point advantage. It was 52-51 at the halftime break. And at that point, the Minnesota Timberwolves held a 22-9 advantage in the free throw department in terms of free throw attempts. That is not makes, attempts. 22-9. As we sit here now, after a Raptors victory, the disparity in free throws actually favored the Raptors when all was said and done. 39-33. So kudos to the Raptors for buckling down defensively in that second half, doing a better job of playing without fouling, but more importantly, sort of dictating the terms of engagement and saying, yeah, we're going to impose our will, because that's exactly what happened. The Raptors played this game to their liking, to what fits and benefits their style of basketball. Evidence, look at the points in the paint. We know this team plays inside out. They're not a team, unlike most organizations in the modern NBA, that play from the three-point line in. The Raptors are a team that is predicated on how much production they can get from inside the painted area, or in this case, when I'm looking at the court right now, everything from the three-point line downwards was in the mid-range area is purple. So the paint itself is not colored. It is actually an ordinary hardwood-looking tone in this situation, in this setting on this court. But regardless, that's where the Raptors need to be efficient, and they outscored Minnesota 56-40 in terms of points in the paint tonight. And it wasn't even on the back of a huge Jakob Poeltl game. He had 15 points, 12 rebounds, incredibly efficient, 5 of 8 shooting. 29 minutes, was in a little bit of foul trouble, so you didn't get the full complement of workload for Jakob Poeltl. But it's a testament to everybody else just not settling for bad shots, not settling for perimeter jumpers, doing a good job of applying pressure on the defense against that Minnesota Timberwolves interior, and certainly rewarded in terms of points in the paint, rewarded in terms of getting to the free throw line. By the way, turnovers have been such a major theme and issue for this Raptors team. Massive problem throughout their first 16 games of the season, 15 coming into tonight. They deserve credit. That fourth quarter, just 2 turnovers. 2 turnovers. Now, towards the end, and I actually wrote this down in my notes, they managed to extend the lead to 9 points with 2.5 minutes remaining in regulation. Up 9, 2:30 to go. I wrote down word for word, how are you going to finish? Now those are the moments where you make the winning plays. Fortunately for them, Minnesota had a handful of miscues down the stretch. And although even Grady Dick committed a costly turnover while they were up multiple possessions, didn't come back to burn them. Scotty Barnes almost turned over the ball, didn't come back to burn them, but they sort of maintained their composure and found a way to gut this one out and hold on to that, maintain that, preserve that 9-point advantage to come away with a victory here on this Thursday night at Scotiabank Arena. Again, we're going to hear from Darko Rajakovic in just a little bit. Mention RJ Barrett, big game for him. Scotty Barnes, let's talk about his performance in his long-awaited return to the lineup. 17 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 5 of 11 shooting, including 2 of 5 from three-point territory in 27 minutes of action. I thought for the most part, it was sort of a textbook or Scotty Barnes performance. It's about what we've come to expect in terms of, at least aesthetically, style of play wise. It's the same guy you saw prior to the injury. Nothing's changed. Limited to 27 minutes tonight. I was sitting up here with my colleague Amit Mann, and we were chatting throughout the game. And I even asked him as we were going into the fourth. I asked him, "What do you think the number is?" He said 28. Turns out, Amit, you were pretty close and almost spot on. It probably was capped at around the 28-minute mark in terms of Scotty Barnes. And to the Raptors' credit, they did a tremendous job of managing the game to make sure he was on the floor in the most critical moments, to ensure that they were utilizing him when he was on the floor and maximizing his workload in those minutes in terms of ball handling, playmaking, scoring, putting pressure on the rim. And most importantly, this is one stat that doesn't show up. Won't show up in the box score on the stat sheet. But when you're watching the game, defensively, his presence alone deters so many shot opportunities for the opposing team. And tonight there were several instances where you had T-Wolves players on the offensive end of the floor, just that split second of second guessing. Wait, I am not going to go and try and attack and get to the rim here. I don't want to get to the rack because I know number 4 is lurking in help side. And that happened on a handful of occasions tonight. Scotty Barnes deserves ample credit for the impact that he has on the defensive end. Not just the numbers and the counting stats, but what he does on that end of the floor and the impact he can have defensively for this team. It's really profound. It was evident tonight and on full display. So full marks to Scotty Barnes for his performance. And of course, the bench, terrific tonight for the Raptors, outscoring Minnesota 34-15. T-Wolves were without Mike Conley, and thus that promoted Nickeil Alexander-Walker, the Canadian, the local boy, born and raised right here in Toronto, elevated him into the starting lineup tonight. Minnesota essentially didn't really have a bench beyond Dante DiVincenzo. Rob Dillingham, they went 8 deep. Rob Dillingham, who I love, by the way, out of Kentucky, the rookie out of Kentucky, played only 10 minutes tonight. So effectively, 7-man-ish rotation for Chris Finch, who's got to be absolutely infuriated right now because this team, as your Paul Jones reference, as they were signing off the broadcast, Minnesota is coming off a 3-day layoff. They had opportunities to get on the practice floor. They're a team that a year ago ranked number 1 in defensive rating. And that tonight was their major Achilles heel. They let the Raptors dictate how this game was going to be played. They let the Raptors play their style of basketball. And if you're Minnesota, that's extremely, extremely concerning. Things have already been up and down, very inconsistent for them early on in this regular season. but it's what? November 21st, game 15 of the regular season for the T-Wolves tonight. And they essentially ran with a 7-man rotation. There's no depth. And you can't even make arguments for the guys that didn't play because they realistically probably aren't rotation players in the NBA. The fact that the Raptors have a better bench than you, that ain't great. I know you have Anthony Edwards. I know you have Julius Randle. Not the best recipe when you're talking about the next guys on your depth chart being Luka Garza, PJ Dozier, Joe Ingles. I love me some Jingles, but that was about 5 years too late for Minnesota. Leonard Miller, who is not yet at the point where he's ready to be a rotational player at the NBA level. Yeah, the Raptors bench absolutely dominated this game with just overall the production offensively. And Chris Boucher, what a lift he provided. 26 minutes, 22 points, 7 of 13 shooting. Davion Mitchell played nearly 30 minutes. Jonathan Mobo, 19 minutes, and he was really good and provided a massive spark for this team. Checking in on the text line, somebody writes in, and again, please do include your name and location. Great win, but hashtag tank for flag. First off, just for future reference, when it comes to the Cooper Flag Tankathon, I'm trying to be the man that is campaigning for hashtag capture the flag. I just kind of feel like it rolls off the tongue better, and that's the way I would go. Capture the flag. Just like you do in paintball when you go and play with your buddies. Capture the flag. That's what I would go with in terms of the hashtag. Appreciate you writing in. A Cash from Mississauga also chimes in and says, and asks a question, in fact, should the Raptors make a few trades, such as Jakob Poeltl, to make sure they can get Cooper Flag? Or do they try to ride and continue winning basketball games, especially when Quickly is back? This has become a really interesting, polarizing topic of discussion in Raptors land over the last, I would say it's probably intensified over the last week or so with the way Jakob Poeltl has played. The fact that coming into tonight, he had riddled off 3 consecutive games of at least 25 points, 10 rebounds, had 90-plus points and collectively 40-plus rebounds in that 3-game span. Just remarkable stuff with what he's done. Personally, I am in the camp of I think you keep Jakob Poeltl and see you have time on your side here. You don't need to rush that decision, at least in my opinion. You have 2 years left on his deal beyond this season. So there's plenty of time and flexibility built into things here with Jakob Poeltl. He's also relatively affordable. And if he's affordable today at $19.5 million in this NBA economy, I can assure you in a year from now or a year and a half, he's going to be just as affordable, if not considered more of a bargain because of the way the NBA ecosystem when it comes to finances just routinely is subject to massive inflation and guys are getting paid left and right. Poeltl's deal is a bargain.